Hey y'all, excuse my phone. Happy Wednesday.
Ooh, wait a
Hello,
minute.
everyone.
Nope. Hold on.
Pause the queens, yeah, the stakes are high. Think 10 steps ahead or watch time fly. It's chestnut, checkers, every move's a test. Strategy and patience, bring out your best. No quick flips, no easy wins. The game is deep, let the match begin. Kings and castles, they don't play fair. Nice leap through problems like they don't care. The bishop cuts shot through the mess you make. One wrong move and it's checkmate.
I had to give it a moment because here's what happened. I didn't know how to replay it, so it went all the way through the cycle, and I was like, shit. And then I went and I hurried up and I pushed it and I paused it, and I'm like, damn, it was gonna recycle again anyway. So we are Chestnut Checkers. Did y'all like our theme song? Shouts out to Lovey.
Yay!
Did y'all like our song? We did it. She did it.
We finally got
a song.
Thank you, Boo.
Listen, I am your co-host, William Alexander, aka Scarf Boy. It is the Scarf Boy season. My scarf is in my bag. I gotta go grab it. It's actually kind of chilly down here. And then we have Lovey. I gotta introduce this the way I see it. We have the lovely Miss Lovey, and we also have the one and only Miss Kristen Rarisense Wilson in the building. We are going to keep it moving. We got some stuff to talk about, y'all. Wow. Too much to talk. Listen, too much to talk about. We want to get right into the meat and the thick of things, and we're going to try to keep it focused. That is my agenda, to keep myself focused through this whole entire ordeal. It's going to be a sensitive and triggering topic, but we going to get
the trigger was just beep, beep, beep. We finna be triggered a little bit, and we're going to try not to shoot no guns at each other, because this is not anybody or anybody watching.
Disclaimers: we love one another. I believe we could all coexist together and cohabitate.
Yeah. That's the goal. That's the goal eventually.
I need a partner.
Well, that's on you.
I know, yeah.
I ain't gonna tell you personal business, but you know how I feel about that.
Doesn't need better choices, man. Anyway, she don't even like me talking about my personal life. She's like, don't you bring that shit up on this show.
You see that? You see that? I'm glad you did.
Redirect the shit out of it. Anyway, current events, y'all. Current events. Did y'all find? We're gonna go into them, but I just gotta ask: did y'all finally see Diddy's? What's it called? The Reckoning.
Man. Yes.
Lovey, did you see it?
No.
Can I ask? Do you intend to see it?
I do.
Damn.
I didn't.
So next
I don't know. I'm gonna look. But it's okay. Talk about it. Listen. Talk about it. It'll be fine.
We need the wow factor. We need the wow factor. You saw Kristen. She's a man. We need the wow factor. So tune in next week. We're gonna finally get to the meat. Alistair, if you are listening and you have not watched it, and you decide to bring your ass on the show during current events, I don't know what to tell you. That I suggest you watch it. But we're going to really get into the thick of it. It is something serious. Oh boy. In other news, Cassie.
Hey, Jason.
Cassie decided to jump ship, y'all. She's gone. She's I don't know if they found her yet.
She got her check.
I don't know if they found her. She's somewhere. And I don't even know if she even got her husband with her. I don't know if she even got a husband now at this point. Cassie got the bag and Cassie disappeared. Cassie is now like Angelica something, and she's gone. Y'all, Cassie is gone. Ice then got her. I'm trying to tell you.
Ice ain't got shit. Ice ain't got shit. She took that check and she knew that as soon as everything went down the way it went down,
that's what I'm saying. The only way to escape under the radar is through Ice.
And
In her case,
she looked too much like them to be fucking around with ice. Let me just say that
that's
out
what I'm
loud.
saying. Like she'd be like, pew, she out.
Pew,
Send me money.
pew.
What she gonna be like? All right, this is, you know what I mean. Anyway, that's a little bit of dark humor for y'all. If you don't know what dark humor is, because y'all act like y'all a little bit too spiritual and holier than thou, which we're going to get into. Ooh, I'm.
Mm.
Ooh,
Mm. Such pickles and cupcakes.
Mm.
Oh,
Hey, Jason, what's up? What's up?
this was popping, Jason.
Oh, he's not. She's not.
Baby.
Okay.
We all knew that he was gonna fuck with and leave her after he found out what the fuck she was doing with Diddy.
Man, listen, the filth farm filth. Now I gotta bring this up. Now you might know this, Lovey. I gotta bring it up though. I gotta bring it up. For that man to be such a germaphobe and to know what he's done with other people's bodily fluids, and you talking about give me hand sanitizer because I done shook a common man's hand. I said, brother, hey man,
I am not well. Look, I am not well.
like you are living a very bumpy situation of lifestyle here. Like
Yikes.
it's
Well, while we're talking about the bumpiness of it all, because everybody seems to forget that the fat bitch told us Usher had herpes years ago.
Right.
Rihanna
A
got
long time ago.
these are my confessions.
herpes. Like there's mad people in the industry that have been outed as herpes survivors, liver withers, but however the fuck you say that shit. And what's up, cuzzo? Oh, mess.
Say your big I'm dying.
That didn't even
Not that free Kool-Aid.
That's what caught me was the fat free for Kool-Aid.
Free Kool-Aid. What is going on?
With stevia. I'm not dealing with you, cuzzo.
What is going on? Not diet Kool-Aid. I'm done.
So,
anyway, herpes. So here's the funny. That was a hell of a redirect, wasn't it? Herpes. Like, hey man.
how do we? Wow.
Wow. Nah, like I've actually been around like some people. Like we in the back rehearsing. You know, you get that little small talk, and I've heard people say like, "Oh, like herpes is just a common thing now. Like you get it, it just bumps and goes away." I'm like, what?
Okay, so I mentioned this on the show previous to now. I'm well, cuzzo. I'm well. I'm hoping that you're doing okay. I know it's cold as shit up there in Chi-Town, so just stay warm, my nigga.
Stay warm.
Stay toasty, my nigga, because it's cold as shit down here. So I know y'all going through. So I mentioned this a while back, probably in season 2, and it was a quick mention just for those who don't remember. Herpes is no longer tested for. That's how prevalent and common herpes is that when you're asking for somebody's my chart and herpes is not on there because they don't test for it unless you're pregnant or you ask for it. They test for it if you're pregnant because just like
stop being nasty.
I was trying to stay serious throughout.
Whoa.
I couldn't keep a straight face today.
No, because I want to get all these giggles that we can. Because this, I don't know. I hope this goes well for y'all. I really do hope this goes well because it could be. And I don't want that to be a thing. I don't want that to be a thing for us.
I love y'all. That's all I got.
Okay, so what I found out when I was pregnant with the twins is that they test you for it when you're pregnant because as the baby comes through your canals, it can be passed on from birth just by being in contact with your coochie juices, basically. So if you have it, then when they test you for it while you're pregnant, they will put you on Valtrex to keep the outbreaks down so that the baby is not infected, basically. But otherwise, when y'all are taking your partner, your new partner, to go get tested together, because that should be a thing, right? It should be.
Right. That's a good date night.
When you're taking the partner to go get the test, please understand that, or if you're asking them for their my chart or their records, basically, because not everybody has my chart, right? And you don't see herpes on there, that does not mean that it came out negative. It means they were never tested for it because they didn't request the test. So if it in fact you and your partner are going to get tested, please make sure you are requesting that test as well, because motherfuckers are going
All of
under,
them, people. All
yeah,
of them.
they're going under
Full
the radar.
panel.
Wake up,
All of
bum
them.
bumpy.
Bum, 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 bum.
I'm not dealing with this.
Listen, man. I don't know why that's not a
Bumpy.
thing. Like
Bumpy.
it should be wait a minute. We got a question here. So
Mhm.
he says, educate me real quick, cuzzo. If you can't pass it through the birth canal, can you be born with the trait though? Yes.
Yes,
Yes, you can, because
yeah,
there's different variations of
correct.
herpes.
Because
There's also
if
herpes.
you ever have mononucleosis, that is herpes.
You've had herpes. You ever
Correct.
had a bum bump?
No. You have herpes because any type of herpes, any
Mm-hmm.
type of herpes
HAVE. That
is,
you
yeah,
have herpes.
you're gonna have it till the day you die, until the day your body disintegrates. Because even once you're dead, you still got that shit. Okay,
One of them drones that be showing up right here, that bum
yeah,
bump
that
drone,
shit that got all the little bumps in it.
is called herpes simplex.
Herpes.
Herpes.
You
Simple.
got herpes.
Yeah. So there are several different types of herpes, and only one of them, I
I'm not
believe, is
judging.
technically sexually transmitted. Mononucleosis is the kissing disease because you
The
get it
kissing one. Mm-hmm.
kissing people or sharing drinks or whatever. So just watch what y'all putting y'all mouth and coochies on and dicks in, because folks is out here with
Right.
diseases that they don't even realize. They telling you it's hair bumps. It's not.
It's not.
Mm-mm.
It's not.
You can catch it by putting your mouth on it, people.
I'm
It's
not
been
going
debunked. Stop the
to
violence.
You bum bumpy.
I'm not going to expose anybody ever in life, but I have a family
Mm-mm.
who's married for 20 something years who found out on vacation in the 20th year of marriage that their spouse had herpes because they wouldn't sleep with them on vacation. Who don't sleep with their spouse on vacation?
Now here's the thing. How long have you had it?
Right.
Now, and I know that sounds
Wait
like
a
a
minute.
weird question,
No,
because
because
that's
it's not. Because if you
it's
got
a
it while we was married, I'm gonna fuck you up.
we are going to have
Right, but
problems.
wait a minute. Because
So
But
my family member never caught it because their spouse was really good about making sure that they were not having sex with them during an outbreak. Their vacation just happened to fall while that person was in an outbreak. So the herpes disease can only be transmitted during an outbreak, but you will have little bumps throughout. You will have, it's just a nasty ass disease, and motherfuckers don't even care.
and here's the crazy part: you may not know for
This
years.
nigga's stupid.
Years. I'm trying to ignore this stuff and stay focused.
Cause though,
You
first
gotta
of
bring his
all,
ass on here.
right,
But yeah,
right.
I mean, it,
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it going. Cause that comment next to D'Angelo sent me like, God damn it, we not doing this.
it's
the
just a
hell?
matter of, for me, is all right. I got a question. For y'all.
Mhm.
Let's say that was your situation. Like you were partnered with somebody. You know that like herpes, it may take like 2 or 3 years for it to actually show itself, although it's already in your system, right? It just needs like a catalyst, right? So let's say that comes about, and he's like, "Oh shit, I got herpes." Like I ain't been with nobody, but I just found this shit out. Like, bam, brushing my teeth, boom, bum bump. He got to tell you, because he's bad at lying. Do you stay with him? Like, you're married.
If in fact I have it, then yes. But if I don't, then no. That's my caveat. If I got it, then we fucking around together for the rest of our lives. You can't get rid of me with like your herpes, nigga. But if I don't have it, then nah, I'm out because I'm not risking that.
That because oh,
Like, you're married.
Yeah, I'm divorced if I don't have herpes, and he does.
if I don't have it, I'm out of here. Like, look,
Because like any quantifiable disease, if it's in your system, it can only be tracked to a roundabout amount of time.
That's what I was saying. Like it was like 2 to 3 years to manifest itself.
But if in fact you had already infected me, then yeah, I'm out of here. Like I'm not leaving. If you gonna send me out, I'm gonna go out into the world with herpes that you gave me. No, nigga, you gonna have to deal with me for the rest of your fucking life, just like your herpes. We gonna bump. We gonna match shirts and bumps, nigga. We yeah.
Y'all just gonna be the big old leopard family now.
I mean, at that point, I'm already stuck. I'm married to you. You gave me herpes. I didn't have this shit before I married you.
I mean, if you already got it, then fuck it.
I'm just saying.
I'm with y'all on that part. If I got married to you and I found out like that's tough. I think considering all things, I might walk away from that one. If I don't have anything, I might have to walk away with my dignity.
Yeah, if I don't have it,
I get what y'all saying. I had to sit and think about it. But if I got it, if I found out I got it, we got it.
Mm-hmm. See? Punch that hoe in the face. I would have, I'm not a sanctioned.
No, that's some real shit.
Yeah, I'm not a sanctioned domestic violence person. Right.
That's some real. Don't you wait till some shit get hot and heavy, and then you talking about, oh, by the way, we need to talk. Oh, you motherfucker.
That shit just pissed me off. Anyway, we
gonna get ready to try to off somebody. Can we let's switch lanes because
it's current event now because I can't do that.
I just felt like Stabby Town was on the approach.
We gonna stay focused. We just
okay. So
damn it.
An Army gynecologist, since we on the topic of herpes, an Army gynecologist at Fort Hood is now facing charges for secretly recording his patients, sparking many debates and outrage about dismissal of complaints from the young ladies who had to use this doctor while at that base. So last week, we had a police officer going through bitches' phones at traffic stops for nude photos. Now we got a fucking gyno at Fort Hood taping in your insides while he in there with speculum searching around and shit. And I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck is really going on in the world. Is pussy that scares y'all? Like,
I'm convinced that like doctors, like those type of specialist doctors, like gynecologists and urologists, they are real freaking weird. Real weird. There's a doctor at Penn. His name is Dr. Dix. He's a urologist. There is no way that I would ever go to him for any of my needs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not when his name is Dr. Dix. His last name is really Dix.
Listen, there's a
they're weird.
I have an issue with names. Okay, I won't eat at Checkers. Anybody who's been to Georgia knows what Checkers is. You know what Checkers is, right? Mm-hmm. I won't eat there. And it's not that their food is bad or nothing like that. I refuse to put anything named Big Buford in my mouth. And that is the name on their sandwiches. You got the Big Buford. No, I'm not. Right. Cuzzo had posted a video of some shit where the it's like, yeah, I need a big dick burger with dick sauce on the side. Like that's their menu. I'm not eating there, bro.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. You could have the number one fucking burger under the sun, and I would never. I would eat that thing second to last, next to like shit mixed with dirt. I'm not doing that.
Ew.
So yeah. Next
y'all know how long it's been since I had a hot dog because of y'all weird ass people in social media? I have not. I used to like a good beef ball part.
Good glizzy in the mouth. I know.
See, I can't. Fucked it up again.
Good night. I'm not. Count me out, G. Wow.
Okay.
all set.
I feel immature. I've been made to feel immature because there are certain things that I feel like men should not eat.
I would like bananas.
I don't break that bitch. Don't be sitting there just.
Don't
Well,
take
I'm
that big
curious
thing
to
to the mouth
know.
like that.
I'm curious to know what you shouldn't be. What as men, what shouldn't men eat?
What she said with bananas, you gotta break it. Don't just be open mouth and like
Now, I will say this: men don't deep throw a banana. That's weird. That's weird.
Popsicles. Because there's no way to eat a popsicle that don't look like sucking dick. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. I seen a video the other day and the nigga was eating a popsicle that come in the plastic, you know, the big long one that come in the plastic that you gotta. Yeah, no, don't eat no fuck you grown ass man.
Especially not the one with all the colors. Like, don't do this. Don't do this. I got questions.
They start rapping the motherfucker.
You're pulling everything out.
You gotta really jerk that motherfucker to get it up to the top. Popsicle, no.
Excuse me. I can't.
Lollipops.
All right.
That's man. Don't be out here eat lollipops. No.
Now,
Wait.
now, you hold on a goddamn minute.
Hold on, wait. What kind of lollipop are we talking about? Are we talking about blow pops, or are we talking about
on a stick? That's what kind. It gotta.
Come on. Hey, wait a minute.
No.
What if?
That's what y'all look like eating fucking lollipops. No, nigga, no.
No, I'm sorry. Now you hold on. Now you hold on a goddamn minute. Shit.
I'm holding.
No. Now there are some good ass lollipops.
Break the stick off and put that shit in like hard. No.
A good.
No.
You know what? I feel like I don't know because people really liking some of these flavors like that blue raspberry that went around for a minute and it was just so yummy and every nigga's mouth was blue. So I know they ate it.
I never understood blow pops because like even when you get to that, like you finish the gum, like,
it was
break your goddamn teeth.
It's
It
was practice.
Weird as shit.
That's all that was for. It was practice. With me.
Now I don't give a fuck when nobody say a Tootsie Pop. I'll fight somebody over a good Tootsie Pop. I don't give a fuck. Fight me if you want.
Don't eat that shit around me, William, because I'm clowning you. First of all. Secondly, my last thing on my list that I feel like men shouldn't eat, because we've already done the glizzy thing. Everybody knows glizzy, sausages, whatever, look weird, right? Cut that shit with a knife, nigga. You could use utensils, okay? I don't like to see men eat burritos.
I need a break. It hurts. You know, no left or right, but every time I see someone eating a burrito, I be looking to see like, are you gonna bite off the whole? Or are you gonna go mad from the side? Are you just gonna like whole thing? Like, what do you? Every time, like.
I'm not gonna unsee this moment.
I'm just saying. I be having my little hood PSAs. My hood PSA for today's episode. Niggas, y'all should not be eating certain.
Wait, I got a question. Do y'all, ladies in the chat, do y'all agree with this? Are y'all listening to this? Do y'all agree?
You don't have to. It's just my opinion. If I'm ever on a date with this, though. If I'm on a date with a dude, and he's sucking my lollipop more than I am, like he into it, I'm gonna have an issue. I'm gonna wonder what his look like for real. Oh, listen. All right, next current event. I'm over it.
Hey, man.
It's all of the advertisement and imaging. What Snickers is really trying to tell you is that you're not yourself unless you got chocolatey nuts in you.
That's it. Amen. So it's poetry right there.
To eat a dark dick snack after that.
That's it. You're not hungry, you're hangry. I get it.
Wow.
All those nuts in your mouth.
The chocolate.
Unbelievable.
No, we're not doing this.
I'm just saying. There's a million other fucking types of candy to eat. There's certain ones that, as a man, if you don't like dick, you shouldn't want to put in your mouth. That's the way I look at it. So, next current event, we're gonna speed past that.
I eat trail mix.
Dwayne Johnson. Trail mix is fine.
Yeah.
What the hell happened with Dwayne Johnson?
Other than nuts in your mouth, but we're not gonna go there. Dwayne Johnson's daughter Simone is now in a relationship with the wrestler Tatiana Dumas.
I almost said something inappropriate. That one.
Yeah. Go ahead, because I heard it. I heard it even though you didn't say that.
She's strong. We saw that coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very strong.
While we're in the wrestling realm, my boy from Massachusetts, John Cena's last match is this coming Saturday. It's the end of an era. I feel like this is really marking the end of the Attitude Era for real. Like, no more John Cena wrestling at all. It's crazy.
I don't know what the era is now. It's like real neutral.
I feel like it's the Triple H era. That's the way I'm looking at it because he's the one running this shit right now and it sucks. But to know that I can tune into the WWE going forward from next Saturday forward and never hear makes me sad.
I think he's gonna be back.
I doubt it. He's really trying to move on with his acting career and his
acting career.
He said he wants kids.
Right. Finally, after all that shit he put Nikki Bella through with not having kids, now he wants kids. Yeah.
Ain't he like 60 now though?
We're not gonna talk about him. Drake was the most streamed artist of 2025 according to Apple Music. Chris Brown was Billboard's #1 artist of 2025. So good for them. Claps up, gentlemen. Keep making good music. Drake, make some fucking good music.
Make some music.
While we're at it, Method Man said the reason why he nor anybody else from Wu-Tang decided to do a remix feature on Drake's Wu-Tang Forever album is because it sucked.
Facts.
Next thing, we're not gonna go there. Because Jay-Z's lawyer.
Oh boy.
Because we was talking about it a little bit. Lovey, this is why you got to watch the fucking documentary so we can really get into how deep this shit is going, right? Because it's in there. It's in it. Like, it's Jay-Z's lawyer is now like cease and desisting. I don't even know what to call it because Diddy's in jail. So it's like lawyers versus lawyers at this point. But there's some sort of video footage of Diddy and Jay-Z and possibly, please don't kill me, Beehive, but possibly Beyonce that was secretly taped by Diddy that Jay-Z is trying to use his lawyers to get that tape back. That came about because 50 Cent and his documentary then directly after did an interview, and I love 50's Petty. That only aired on ABC because ABC is the only channel that Diddy can watch in that jail.
And it's messed up because that like ABC is literally the only channel you can watch in jail.
He did it.
I thought it was a joke until I was like, "Holy shit!" The only channel that you see is ABC.
He did the only interview he did was with ABC after the first when it first aired, specifically because he wanted Diddy to see the interview, specifically because he wanted to air the picture of Jay-Z and Diddy kiss. And talk about the idea that Jay-Z claimed it was accidental. And 50 said, me kissing no man. Yeah, I'm not, it's not accidental. I'm not just accidentally kissing no man in the face. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I got a thing for Ted, the Teddy Bear movie with Mark Wahlberg, because, you know, support. But I'm so excited because those are my shits. Thunder Buddies for life, bro. So 50 is proof nobody is pettier than a grudge holding cancer. Absolutely. So yeah, that was the current events tonight. Patriots is still #1 in the AFC. Philly's still #1 in the NFC. Yes.
I don't even want to talk about them.
Oh,
thank you.
Horrible.
Well, Boston runs on that. So head
So
up
let
to
me talk about them for a minute. So,
look,
we
head
can
up
go
to
to
New
the little
England if you
baskets
like
up.
champions. That's all I was
Look
saying.
how you brought it up.
Eagles somehow threw four picks in the game when he only had 2 in the entire season leading up to the game.
Sounds like somebody that on the game if you was to ask me.
4, you have 4. Like, they couldn't buy a trip to the end zone. Like, they couldn't. He said, "Oh, you right there? Y'all can have it now."
Right.
That looked like Donovan McNabb Jr. out there.
So my cousin
Shouts
said,
out to McNabb.
look, can we have a moment of silence for his Chicago Bears to tossing up the booty cheeks to the Green Bay Packers, even though because we can get back to number 1 with the Packers loss and win against the Browns next week. So,
hey man, I'm silently rooting for the Browns. Shador,
my cousin cut your ass out. That's the wrong thing to say right now.
hey man. Now, in defense, the Browns are not in their conference at all. Not even in the same territory. It's just a matter of they just need to XYZ. But anyway,
So when you see my cousin
Shador's playing
as Chicago as I am Boston.
Hey man, ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Rep your space.
Yeah.
Shador, keep doing your thing. We like them numbers. 364, 4 total touchdowns. We like them numbers. No turnovers. No, you had 1. It was a stupid one too.
Yeah, one
But
time.
we like those numbers though. Keep making that entire organization look real stupid, okay? You're doing great. Moving right along. We're gonna get right into the thick of things.
Oh my God, I'm scared, y'all.
We gonna get into it. We all right. Look. Django didn't came. He's like, I'm here.
Hey, Django, look, we need our emotional.
Django.
That Django is all of our emotional support animal, y'all. Just so y'all.
Can I tell you that he's getting a Gandhi belly? Look at his belly.
Yeah, that's what happens when you cut a nigga nuts off. See what happens? I promise you, any nigga walking around sucking on lollipops got a belly just like
that. Disgusting.
Bet money I don't.
And there you have that.
I don't go sucking on lollipops though. And I'll have a good lollipop if I see one.
Sir, you better take the stick off around me. That's all I'm saying. You better suck that bitch like a hard candy and keep it moving.
Choke. What do you mean?
So, last current event comment, and then we're gonna move into the actual meat of the matter, as William likes to say, since we've been talking about meat in one way or another the whole goddamn time.
The whole time. Meat House Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in.
I should know because he's gonna make them all his skin off his nuts by the time he retires and breaks all these records. However, I've been wanting to, as the rest of the city of Chicago, see a Patriots Bears Super Bowl rematch 40 years later.
I can see that being an important thing.
Cousin, you know I love you. We are not friends on any given Sunday, first of all. Secondly, if and in fact it does happen, I want it to be next year's Super Bowl. Like, give us this year to get this team solid. We're doing great in the regular season, but Super Bowl playoffs pressure is something different.
The whole different breed of animal, man.
So
championship rounds right there.
Correct. I'm waiting to see how they handle that pressure because it's
you get too hard, you get hit too hard, you're not bouncing back. There's not another game for that. Nope.
At all.
Mm-mm.
So wait, before we go on and get started, let me light my candle.
Look.
Put your lights up.
We're going to get into the thick of some things, y'all, and we really if you have your thoughts, if you have your opinions, if you have your experiences, if you have your knowings, if you have your beliefs, feel free to put them in the chat. What I will try to do the best job that I can is reading the room and redirecting. So we're going to make sure that we're going to stay on task here. Oh, here we are.
Everybody's Thanksgiving was great, Cuzzo. I've been
My
fat.
Man started out redirecting.
Look, right. I've been fat, and I am thankful and grateful Hell no. You know we don't eat chitlins in this family,
We don't
bro.
eat chitlins.
The fuck is wrong with y'all? Like, no.
Not only that.
Okay, so let me just say, I'd seen this video earlier, and there are definitely some trauma meals that I think we all shared if we grew up in the 80s. Chitlins, pig's feet,
Neck bone.
liverwurst or liver and onions or liverwurst. No, neck bones actually are not too bad if you make them right. So I can't say that was a trauma meal for me. Goober, peanut butter, and jelly in the same jar. See y'all's faces, right? The fact that they decided to put the same amount of peanut butter and jelly in the jar, thinking that it was going to equal out, there needed to be twice as much jelly in that jar. Let me just say that.
Oh my God.
I personally feel like it wasn't worth the Tom and Jerry cartoons on the side of the jar to force us to go through this hell of trying to get enough motherfucking jar to deal with that thick ass government peanut butter that they were sliding in there.
This all just sounds like nasty talk. I just can't, like, what? All of it. Yikes. Disgusting.
Spam is coming back.
I eat spam all the time. I eat spam today.
Nope.
Today. Bow.
I fry that shit hard and put it in my noodles. It's delicious. Listen. That's why I said it's certain struggle meals that I feel like aren't trauma for me because I like that shit. I will make a fried bologna sandwich.
Cream and chip beef.
Right.
I'm mad that it's now like a whole like gourmet meal now. I'm like, motherfucker, I grew up on that.
Right. But I know people to this day whose parents always made liver with the gravy and the onions. So to this day, they can't even eat Salisbury steak because they can't tell the difference. And they scared somebody trying to slip some liver on.
I'm not gonna lie, my taste buds turn off when I'm like, I sense liver, my taste buds go. I don't even taste it. That and fried chicken wings, low key.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I had them so much.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So while we talking about these traumas that we went through as children, church is one of them.
Good segue.
Have hands up for everybody who was forced to go to church from the age of 0 to 12, if not longer.
I'll give myself some credit.
Yep. Yeah. Hands up for everybody here that was kicked out of said church or church group or study or when you go for the kids? What do they call that in the morning when you go?
Vacation Bible school, Sunday school.
Sunday school, vacation Bible school.
Yeah, Sunday school.
Kicked out for asking questions. Okay. How many of us grew up to understand that none of that shit they taught us really made any sense? Okay. So since now that we're all on the same page, right? Yeah, sorry, my titties was itching, y'all. I don't usually do that on screen, but yeah.
It's okay. It's fine.
It was in there. We want to redirect it.
It was in there. So we decided to do this episode for the sanctity of an idea because we are all about our community. And church is a part of what held our community together for decades. Our parents and their parents and their parents and their parents, all the way back to the plantation, found love and resilience and fellowship in these buildings. And some would say the reason why the world is fucked up right now is because our generation and the generations following us don't find those same ideals in those buildings. And so here we are. I titled this segment Church Hurt Don't Fade because there is a trauma involved. There is a trauma involved. Look, I can't even talk in understanding what I tell people all the time that when I was in college the first time and I took philosophy, that my thesis was on the idea of teen angst. And I did use the Cosby Show and holiday traditions as most of my theory for why teen angst happens, right? And I use the Cosby Show specifically, but more so media in general, and then also church included in that as a part of the media, which my teacher thought was very slick. Got an A on my thesis, by the way, y'all. I was doing the damn thing. Um, but I do feel like when people are angry in life, we walk around, we talk all the time about these miserable ass niggas and hoes that just go around trying to make everybody else's life miserable because they're miserable. I do feel like a lot of that comes from these sort of traumatic hurts, these deeply scarred, everything the world told me was a lie type hurt. And you become bitter, you become pained, and yeah, y'all. What do y'all think?
I thought we had a video to show first.
Okay, I'm gonna go for the video.
Hey,
Y'all
hey
stop.
man. Hey,
I'm gonna
man.
go for the video. That's cool.
I'm thirsty. Wait.
Woo.
All right. This first video, something that I found that I really think the way you was guzzling, see, glizzy
Not
anything.
that whole gallon. You can let that.
Right.
Oh.
It's something that I found that I think was a good explanation for what we're talking about here today. So here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Steal your spiritual power and give it to someone else. Spirituality teaches you that God is within you. Religion teaches you that God is outside you and you need a middleman to reach him. Religion was created to steal your spiritual power and give it to someone else. Spirituality teaches you that God is within you. Religion teaches you that God is outside you and you need a middleman to reach him. Religion was created to steal your spiritual power.
I let it play twice. I let it play twice for the sake of hearing it all the way through. What the man said made sense to me. What do y'all think?
Would you like to go first, Lovey?
I'm gonna go ahead and agree with him on several different things. Also, I'll say this. I've been to several different churches and the teaching was different every single place that I was at. I was raised up in church and the first teaching made us to feel like God was on the outside and something that you needed to be of a certain caliber in order to invite in. And when I was raised in church, but I grew up in a different setting of church where I then learned that me and God are basically one, and God is in here. And if He's in here, He's in here. There isn't really a, a disconnect, except I disconnect the connection, which is more spiritual than it is religious. I also was there when I learned that religiosity and spirituality are not the same thing. And everything that I basically learned growing up was religiosity. And so at this point, that I've learned, what's actually behind the curtains and the veil, so to speak, I can turn all of that, go, let it go, because those are based on more principle and human aspects than they are based on any real anything for
Mm.
real. That is also how I ended up being kicked out of church. When I questioned leadership about pregnancy, the preacher got up and she preached about children and their sin and christening the child and all that, and I wanted to know where she could find that in scripture. And I felt like I've read this book back and forward. I have read the Quran and all of its surahs back and forward, and I can't find this here anywhere. And so if you can't find it and prove it to me, I'm done with this here church thing. And after 4 hours of their deliberation, where they called in the pastor and several of their assistant pastors, some elders and Bible school teachers, some evangelists, they came back to me with they couldn't find it. And I was concluded that not only do I know this better than you, but you don't even know what you're talking about. I'm done with this. Because if you're not even going to teach it right, you're not going to live by its statutes, you're not going to stand up in front of these so-called people and give them fruit, word, whatever it is you're supposed to be giving, then I don't need to be here. I could solely walk on my own spiritual path on my own. Because as it turns out, I'm a teenager and I know it better than you do. And therefore, spiritually, there are some things that It's more spiritual than it is religious. Religiosity is the same thing as insanity. It's quite literally just doing things over and over and over and over and expecting a different outcome. And if that's the case, then insanity is religiosity, and spirituality is growth, it is expansion, it is newness, it is birth, it is death, it is transcendent, it is all those things. And that is my opinion.
Well, I love your opinion. First of all, wait, give me 2 seconds. I know you're about to go off because we all been kicked out. I just wanted to touch on the fact that she said that they're doing the same thing over and over and over and over, which is the definition of insanity, expecting a different result, right? But they condemn witchcraft. And if doing something over and over and over and over on a certain time, at a certain day, on a certain moon is not religion, then why is religion calling that witchcraft?
Woo! Oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm. William, we'll get
I
back into
almost got my soapbox. Come on, William. I'm gonna get on it in a minute.
I was practicing my neutrality here.
Come
I love that for you.
Doing the best I can, man. But
on, William.
no. I mean, I guess I can share experience along with this. If we're in the holiday season, so we're going to use that as a reference as what I'm going to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting what Lovey said, and also what Kristen was saying about the teachings and the witchcraft and the idolatry and all these things. And I one thing that I my mother, and I'll never forget something that she said that changed my whole perspective on how I viewed religion. I already had my angst about it pretty much removed from it by that point, but it changed my view. She was a pastor. Not many people knew because she refused to be boxed into a church. So she would often one of the pioneers of renting gymnasiums in our area and congregating people. Um, she said that if she can go back, and now mind you, her kidneys are at 9% now.
Mm.
And y'all think that I'm joking. I hate talking about this fucking topic, but I'm willing to do it.
Take a
She
deep breath,
said to me
baby.
that if she can go back, she would tell these people the truth. Now, I'm 37, 30, well, no younger than that. And that blew my fucking mind because at this point, I've never known my mother I've heard her lie. I've heard her be like, yeah, I'm hiding something. And she's had to protect somebody she did what she had to do, but she never lied to her kids.
Mm-hmm.
And she taught us biblical principle, like follow the Bible, obey the word of God. But then you turn around and you tell somebody that I would tell these people the truth. And then she gave me the truth, what the truth was within the context of the Bible. She
Mm-hmm.
said, is this the word of God? And I said, from what you said, yeah. She said, no, this is a book.
A
The
great book.
book.
Gracious as fuck.
It's a great book. Right. That's exactly what she said.
Mm-hmm.
Great book. A lot of alliterations. However, the word of God is within the book, but the book is not the word of God.
And it's sad that more churches don't make that, or more pastors or more people who keep distinction.
And once you really take apart that simplicity, it takes you out of the spectrum of what the religious traditions are, and it puts you in a standing of, I got some goddamn questions now. Like, and that wasn't the first time. I've already been kicked out of churches before them. But I think what really sparked me going through like more of a transition of how I view church. Am I a Christian? Let's be clear. I am a Christian. I have Christic views, Christic standpoints, Christic philosophies. I believe that Jesus died for the intent for us to be saved.
Say
Now,
Saved from what?
Saved from sin.
Okay. Because we're going to get it today.
Call it what it is. Saved from sin and what allowed you to be connected with God. Now, I'm trying to paraphrase it and break it down because there's alliterations and context that you use too many big words and people can be like offended off of shit. I'm not going to say certain words. I'm trying to break it down here, right? So he died for the intent, for those that believe that he died for this thing to happen, that you might actually understand his walk and his path too, and you won't be actually calling him to get to where he's going. Here's where church confuses me. He died and he said he's coming back, but he gave us instructions to connect with the creator, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're calling on his name to connect to the creator when the person's not here anymore.
Was he ever?
Now, do I believe that he was? I believe that Yeshua walked this earth.
Okay.
Now,
stop real quick because I'm playing devil's advocate today, y'all. And so I do want to let y'all know I am a Christian. I was raised a Christian. I have Christian views and values. Howsoever, there's a lot of shit that don't make sense. And y'all know how I am about making sense.
I don't play. I'm going to say it straight to the cut. I
Hold
don't
on.
play churchology. And y'all have been playing churchology. And now I've just been quietly going through my notes for the past decade and a half, almost 2 decades. And I get to talk about the question that y'all asses refuse to answer. And now I have some answers and we're going to share them. Right. And I'm going to do my best without getting an attitude. I'm trying to blink through these motions and breathe through them. But we're going to talk about them and it's not going to be comfortable.
I might have an attitude, y'all. I'm just saying because, okay, while I was asking questions before, we're going to do one more raise your hand question real quick. How many of y'all was raised in church to some form or another, or also raised with hoodoo? Yeah, with hoodoo. Split the pole, spit on the broom, black cats, all of these different beliefs.
And pressing your doorstep.
Right. Right. Corned beef and cabbage on Easter because we couldn't afford. And so,
bro.
Right. I'm so glad that one of us didn't have to raise their hand because just the confusion of that alone, becoming an adult, going from childhood into adulthood, and understanding that that's right. He said might need to light up more than incense stick, sage, Palo Santo than some.
I have some Palo Santo.
Yeah. So with that being said, the reason why I lit a candle and an incense is because I was raised with hoodoo practices right along with being forced to go to church every Sunday. I was raised in a household where going to church on Sunday was just my grandmother's break from us. She never fucking went to church. Let me just say that out. Never seen my grandmother in church unless it was Easter. Ever once she went fly on Easter. Fur coats, biggest hat. She went in there to stun on them hoes. But every other Sunday, because my church was literally, I lived in the projects that was on this side of the street. Across the street and a block up was my church. I went there every Sunday. I went there every summer for vacation Bible school. My first job was there. Like it was, we went to church for haunted houses on Halloween. The amount of confusion that y'all are creating within people with the shit that y'all are doing. And then now y'all got this PR shit. Oh, come do your trunk or treat for harvest. Bitch, it's Halloween.
It's Halloween.
You wouldn't call it a trunk or treat if in fact it wasn't Halloween.
I respect the ministry that be like, yo, we don't do none of that.
Correct.
Right.
Because technically the Bible tells you that God doesn't respect our celebrations. He set a certain amount of feasts, days, so on and so forth. He don't respect none of that shit. And if in fact you are not out here loving each other as you love yourself and loving God with every ounce of your being, you are not following the commandments.
That was what my mother pointed. She said this was interesting. She said, "What are the 10 commandments? Can you recite them in order?" And I know these daggone things. I grew up Hoodooist, Hebrew, Pentecostal, went to Christian, and we ain't eat pork. This was the weirdest it was fucking weird. But all that to say, we went through some religion, right? She said 10 commandments, bang. Here's what the man that you say you believe in, this is what he said to do. And what did he say to do? He said, love your neighbor as I have loved you, or may we say as Christ loves the church, and love them through the way I love my Father. So it's a 3-part there. If you don't know how to love, then obviously you don't exemplify self-love. So how do you exemplify self-love? You take a mirror, right? And you look in that mirror and you begin to ask the questions, and you don't complain, you wait for the answer. Here's another thing my mother showed me. Be still and know.
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
Another key principle.
Because y'all know I don't sing. The fact that y'all got me singing on this. Right. Oh, listen, honey. The fact that we was just talking about my job before because y'all know we be in the back chat before we come on getting our sounds together and so on. We was just talking about my wretched ass job. I'm realizing from sitting in that room with all of those people, and y'all know how much I hate people for real, like keep it bucket. People don't know how to be still within themselves. They don't know how to sit and think. They don't know how to not be amongst and about and talking and doing. They don't know how to do that. And it's just weird to me how we're taught perpetually late.
Remedial is okay.
Perpetually late that people are. You just you're just always behind. Yeah. And okay. Church did not teach me anything that I could not have and that I did not learn. I didn't learn anything in church that was so straightforward. I'll put it like that. Because I didn't grow up. I literally grew up in a church. The name of my church, forgive me, Bostonians, Roxbury people. I love y'all. I love my church. I miss my pastor. God rest his soul. Elliott Congregational Church. The goal of my church was fellowship. There was not a lot of blah about singing and dancing and band. And we had a choir. We had an old choir. We had a young choir. That was it. Either somebody 70 and above was up there singing, or somebody 17 and below was up there singing. That was it. In between had shit to do. Nobody, all the regular adults was putting time into that shit. My pastor would get up every Sunday and say, we talking about the book of Matthew, and start reading. And you literally, so pastor, when you said and he will break it down for you. Like I was in a learning church as a kid, which blows my mind the fact that when I went to Sunday school, I would get kicked out of Sunday school and our Sunday school was an hour. So church started at 11. I had to be there at 10. I got to Sunday school. I had to go back home till 11, which means I was getting my ass beat from the time I got back in the house to the time I had to go back.
You got to get back in the church. Yeah. Somehow you done fuck something up and you wasn't even there. You done left the fucking iron on. You didn't somehow, I don't know what happened. You done messed up your hair. I don't know what happened. You done got your ass. Well, I get it. Go ahead.
I say all of that to say that the reality of my church is different from a lot of the other denominational churches. Mm-hmm. My pastor's idea when he started it.
Ooh, who cutting up?
Don't
January.
Yep. You better trot your ass. She came sneaking around the corner. I didn't even know she was in here. Lousy
I'm
bitch. If you ready,
crying.
that means my listen.
I was waiting to see who was gonna get it. I was like, ooh,
Lousy bitch.
She
okay.
seen me like, oh shit, I'm caught because I didn't know she was over there. She's over on the other side of my bed. So, like I said, if you hear her crying, that means I gotta go open the door for her. But I didn't get the Pentecostal. I didn't get the
Mm-hmm.
Kojic dance praise. All I we sat and we had Bible study every Sunday as a group, and then we went and ate stale cookies and drank stale Kool-Aid while the old people ate muffins and we ran around in our church clothes inside of the church. That was my church experience.
Hmm.
So I learned a lot about the Bible, but I also learned a lot about church people.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that church is not where people are going to treat you well.
Hmm.
Because if in fact you couldn't answer those questions when you was called upon, you're looked down upon. If in fact you not participating in something, you're looked down upon. If in fact you come in there smelling like last night, you're looked down upon. And that is what my idea of church became, which is why I said till 12, because once I became a teenager and I was doing stuff that wasn't church worthy, I was basically shunned. And that's where the idea of church hurt comes in for me. I don't know who else experiences things like this. And my grandmother was not a pastor. My mother was not a pastor. My uncle,
No,
how
absolutely, and I think that that's where it began. You know, I mean, I think that's where it began for a lot of us.
Yeah.
It was like if you didn't fit a certain culture, if you didn't fit a certain have a certain lingo about you, um, you know, if you didn't move or twitch the right way, you know, I mean, like
Right. There was kind
I
of a
definitely,
hierarchy in
yeah, like
church.
that was
Yeah.
something that I grew accustomed to seeing that as like churchology behavior.
Hmm.
Now, what I will say is that I've learned forms of diction through church. Rhythmic diction, I've learned a lot of that through church. I'm not going to hold you.
yo,
Um,
the conversation
but what?
about the twins. You remember our conversation?
Oh, we have so many. Which one?
So there was a point in time where I was talking to William. We was on a video chat outside of this, and I was laughing because my twins have no rhythm. My kids in general don't have rhythm.
Oh, oh yeah.
So I'm like, William, because they're coming in while we're talking, and then they're like, Mommy, do I got it? I can't even clap off beat the way they was off beat. Like they was so off beat. It was
They
like
was
one,
on the one and
two,
the one and a half. It was wild.
one, two. Like, kids is
Excellent.
not at all. And William's first thing that he said to me was, "Them kids ain't never been to church, huh?"
Ain't name been to church a day in their lives. Take their ass to church.
But what made me realize is that because we all lived the same life in the 80s, right? I did learn rhythm at church.
Yeah.
You learn a lot of like hidden shit at sorry,
Mhm.
it's not shit. Hidden things at church.
Hidden things.
Because I can go back. So I will say when I go through a lot of like tormentous stuff, I
Mhm.
know that on Sunday I can be around a group of people and everybody have an issue. I can look down and know that everybody is expecting something. Now that was my younger mind, of course.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But I will say where I have gotten older is now when I'm going back to church, I'm not necessarily church, but anywhere where I have like there's a group of people where we can just sit down and talk about whatever experience. I'm able to have a more motivational way of saying, hey, you'll get through it.
Mhm.
You know, through whatever situation. I'm glad I've been through so many different concourses of religion because I can call some bullshit when I see it. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Right.
Like I've experienced somebody who was like, man, I ain't going to no fucking church. Bop, 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 bop. And I was like, he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong not one bit. And for real, that's part of the reason why I left too.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like, okay, so let me ask you this. I said, so if every white person had one experience with a bad black person, and they say all black people are bad because of their one experience with a bad black person who may have just had a bad moment or
Right.
is going through their journey of trying to figure shit out. And I said, listen, would you write off every bad person or every black person?
Yep. Fucking right. Fuck them niggers.
So here's what I've and I get in certain moments why people would. So here's what I said, and I was like, do I subscribe with the idea of religion? No.
Right.
I butt heads with most pastors that I'm affiliated with, whether I'm singing or whatever. But that doesn't mean that I don't have a heart for God. Because the same person that you're preaching about is probably the worst of people that you're probably hypotheticalizing, saying they're good people. If hypotheticalizing was a word.
Okay.
I
So,
feel like
woo, you said a word. Go ahead, boo.
I feel like people are very good at being sheep. And that is one of the problems with church religion and the whole thing. It's because if you have a book, whatever that book is that you're reading,
Mm-hmm.
you're not actually reading it. Because if you did, you'd catch real quick that there isn't one person that is being preached about that is some good, great person in the first place. These are all the dustiest, the worst killers. Some of these people hunted down Christians, murdered them for fun, for
Just
kicks
ask,
and giggles. Like
what
these are the worst of the worst people. These are kept like, come on now. These are people who ran around skinning people, hanging them, all kinds of fun things. And so there's no way that if you're reading it and you're not catching that, then there's a problem. You're just listening to the preacher tell you a story, and they're only going to give you a portion of said story. They're not going to go back into the details of it, the history of it, any of it. They're just going to give you the part that has some type of major impact. And that's the problem that I have with the whole synopsis of it. Why? Because according to that book that you're preaching from, you're supposed to preach this. You're supposed to give this message at the magnitude that even the youngest of children can understand it. That literally means that your message needs to go down every row and touch every single person. You're supposed to provide the meat and the substance for whatever that is that you're giving. And because I've been in so many places where we're just really talking to either the people with some money, the people who are in the most evident visual sin, or we're talking about the people that we don't particularly care for, or whatever it is that they're doing behind this sacred pulpit. They're not doing the job because right there it's in plain black and white. Do this like this, and this is what I said. I mean, I figure if Christ was actually here, God, whoever, a bunch of tables are going to get flipped, a bunch of pulpits are going to get turned over, a couple of these buildings are going to get cooked because the moment that you think that it's actually in a building, you're already mistaken because the church was never meant to be in a building. The body is the body. How can it be a building? Body, built, those are two things are not the same. And if they were, they would not need two definitions. I'm not into that. That
Facts.
sounds crazy.
Facts.
I mean,
Facts
and see,
on
here's where it
facts.
all falls down for me because everything you just said is absolutely 100% correct. And as I grow as a person, you had mentioned something before as well, and you mentioned it again this time. The body. We're supposed to love each other like we love ourselves and love God with our whole strength, body, and soul. That is what the Savior, our brother, Yeshua Hamashiach, told us to do. Love you. I had to practice that because I don't speak Hebrew for real.
You did great.
No, thank you. So in my mind, And I was just telling y'all what I went through at work. The main person at my job who creates the most chaos and the most misery and the most horribleness is the same person who plays gospel music 8 hours a day, is in church every Sunday, will hit you in your face with a Bible if you oppose the Lord in any way. And that's cool. That's cool because that's what you choose to do. Howsoever, when I say I don't necessarily believe in the structure of the Holy Trinity, I am more of an egg theory person. I'm the laughing stock. I'm the conspiracy theorist. But egg theory is just the idea that every part you are a egg, a God becoming birthed. You're an egg. In that egg, you are experiencing life as me, as William, as Lovey, as every single person. So that when you become your God, you know what this life looks like. So if I walk around trying to hurt people, I'm only hurting myself. The Christian equivalent of that is the body of Christ. People tend to overlook words, which while you're reading, like she said, you read in the book, the words are right there. The
Right
body
there.
is made up of organs and cells. If you have a cell that is in the body that is against the body, what happens?
Rejects.
You get sick because your body is fighting off whatever that cell that's not supposed to be there is. That's what the church people do. They feel like we're the body, we're the white blood cells. So anything that looks like it don't belong here, we gotta. But
And
the
that again is them not reading that word. You're just listening to what someone said. That scripture also says, let the wheat and tare grow together, which literally means let us all do our growth in the same place, whether you're here and here and here and here and out here. You're not reading it. You've
and
not read anything that it says for real.
we'll split the two.
Because where's your judgment coming from? I don't mean to recite scripture, but
What do you mean? This is the
what are
actual
you
episode.
talking about? Who
I
are you
mean,
judging?
for
I mean, is it in you to judge? We can try a spirit by a spirit, but judgment is supposed to be held at a different regard, right? And someone else's extreme power,
I mean, that's what it
according.
says to the
I
book.
mean, and
But let's keep it
that's
real. The same person that orchestrated the King James version of the Bible that you so eloquently read every day, all the time, swear
I
by it.
was about to get
Also,
right into it.
a
There
word.
has been a
Well, listen,
lot of miscontextual quotes in the Bible throughout the course
right.
of time, and it should be your responsibility. And I know there is something in most of the realms of the original text, which are found within the Torah, which are found within the Quran, which are also exemplified in the walk of the Bible of Yeshua. He um he talks about this thing called redemption, and redemption's interesting.
Because
Uh-oh.
who the fuck is he redeeming us to? Now, goddamn it, I'm bottle
Nope,
fat.
nope, nope, nope.
Whoa,
I understand. I
whoa,
understand.
whoa.
Sorry, sorry,
I
sorry, sorry.
understand.
I got triggered. I told
So
y'all this.
that's
Yeah.
why it was a real,
Whoa.
and that's okay. Like, then here's the thing: there's nothing wrong with that initial response, and it wasn't about one person saving a lot of people. It's to get in your mindset to say, hey, if you love your neighbor, right,
Mm-hmm,
and your neighbor loves you,
mm-hmm.
what should be the issue? Like, so
There
if
you
you're
go.
following the
That's what
if
community.
you're following the rule of love, and your neighbor is following the rule of love, then there should not be an issue, which we know is in today's time is unrealistic.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
not even
that's why
why I'm
we
triggered.
have a lot of exemplification. I know, which is why we have a lot of exemplification. We have a lot of conversations about this. But one of the things that I have learned is to say, hey, in order for somebody to understand what I need from them, I have to first show them. Even if they let me down the first time, they don't know who I am in order to understand what would benefit me, not to say what I need, because I think that that's like, I'm learning to say that's like low hanging fruit talk.
It is. It
But
definitely
how
is.
do you benefit? You know what I mean?
Sorry.
So no, you're good. So if I'm saying, okay, I see this woman and I'm saying, or this man, or however I see this person as a friend or whatever in my life, how do I benefit them? Not necessarily predatory, like, because I'm going to let them down and they're going to look at me different. That's when I understand, like, okay, a person is not, they're not quite living in their own truth and their own sense of self. Go ahead.
So before we go on to the next video, can we talk about this idea of redemption real quick, please? Because I
Sure.
swear to God, I'm so triggered. My leg is shaking, and I can't
Email.
not
Yes.
say shit.
Whoa.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Jesus. Hit it.
God made people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
God made the devil, right?
Mm-hmm.
God is all knowing, right?
Mm-hmm.
When God made the devil, he knew the devil was sin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or he
Mm-hmm.
knew the devil caused sin in us because he knew
I
everything.
was following you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What?
So do you want me to say it again?
Yeah, because,
God made people.
right.
Yes. We're still
Uh-huh.
together, right? God made them,
Yes.
meaning all of the angels and spiritual beings that are talked about in the Bible. God made them too, right?
Sure.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So when he made the devil, Hasatan, he knew that Hasatan was going to be the reason why his creation here on earth didn't became sin, basically, right?
Sure.
He's all knowing, omnipresent. Yes?
Sure.
This is
Mm-hmm.
where I got fucked up with the church and why I got so triggered.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole idea of Jesus, Yeshua, the Christ, the Messiah, or however God's son, your brother, all of that, right? The whole idea of
Brother.
him, look, yeah, you know, that's that I get
Our
mad.
kinsman redeemer. Sorry,
No,
continue.
you say it again. Say it again so people can hear you.
Our
Say it loud for
kinsman
the group.
redeemer.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
If in fact God
Mm-hmm.
made all of this, who the fuck is we being redeemed to other than the person that started this shit in the first place?
So that's when it becomes tricky. So
I'm trying to hold it together. I know y'all
no, no, I got
literally
what
holding
you're
my
saying.
breath
I'm
from what
trying
we're
to
taking.
find a practical example, right? That's going to keep us both leveled in understanding, right? Um, I could have a fist fight with my brother, or with, let's say, with my friend, a good friend of mine who I've known like a brother, and um, we're going to deal with both parallels here. One with the idea of non-redemption versus the idea of redemption, right? So the first one we're going to deal with is non-redemption. We get in a fight and we go our separate ways and we never speak again. We never take ownership of what we did to even cause this thing to happen in the first place. Not even saying that, oh, he did this and I want him to say this so that I can say this. No, it's me looking at myself and saying, you know what? I was a dickhead. And if I wasn't a dickhead for the last 6 days, he probably wouldn't have slapped me in my fucking mouth in the first place.
Mhm.
Where, okay, we get into this fight, we take a moment and we say, you know what? I caused this shit to happen. At the end of the day, that's my homie, that's my brother, and I knew that this was going to antagonize him, and I chose to think about me first, not realizing that I wasn't even thinking about me. I was thinking about my experiences and how it made me feel, because how I feel is not a direct result of me. It's just a seasoning of what is happening in the moment. So
So
I have to now, in that moment, take away who I am in that moment and say, okay, what standards do I live by? Do I even have any standards? If I don't, then you're going to find yourself on that straight path to say, you know what, fuck him, I ain't never going to speak to him again. And then 9 times out of 10, you're going to run into another person. And then you're going to fight that other person. And then you're going to run into another person and fight, where you can sit down and say, what is causing me to fight these people? What in me is triggering these people? And then you begin to do the work on you. So from that moment, when you decide to say, hey, I am actually triggering this person because maybe my tone may be a little too harsh. Now, I'm not saying, Kristen, I'm not saying your tone is harsh. If
No,
y'all really know Kristen, she don't have a harsh tone.
I don't
But
for real until I do. But no,
so the
that
whole
was
thing
where I screwed
is,
my face up though.
if I say, okay, I may be calling people bitches too much, maybe I should not be saying the word bitch too much, especially in certain, I can
The
withdraw
hoes
from
need to
that.
be called bitches for real. Listen,
Mm?
the hoes need to be called bitches for real because they didn't know
Advocate.
what the fuck they are.
I understand what you're saying, but my friend did not deserve to be called a bitch.
If he was being a bitch, his redemption is understanding that I see you, bitch ass nigga, and now you need to
No,
change.
absolutely not. At the end of the day, I
Correction is the part of
understand.
what we're supposed to do in the
No,
brotherhood, is it not?
I agree. But if I know that something is going to rightly offend you, and I have 30,000 other ways to get the point across, and I choose a method that's going to offend you, then I deserve the reaction that you get. But a
Okay,
lot of times we're not mature enough to handle that reaction.
so here's the deal. I get what you're saying in regards to non-redemption and how that plays out for
Mhm.
that. Non-redemption was God being like, "Give me the keys to Eden, bitch. Y'all done fucked up. Give me the keys." Right?
Mhm.
I'm evicting y'all right now. Notice on the door. Y'all got 30 minutes to get the fuck out of my garden. That's
Mhm.
not redemption, correct?
Mhm.
But if it, in fact, the story as it is told, the book as it is written, says that this thing, this being, these beings, this all powerful trilogy of things, knew all of this was going to happen before it ever even created us. You are
Mhm.
redeeming us from a sin that you created, which in itself sounds like an abusive relationship to me.
Hmm.
And that's where I get fucked up with religion. I read the Bible. Like
Mhm.
she said, I know what's in that book. I may not be able to say at John such and such and such and such because my memory is fucked up from all the weed I smoke.
Facts. Facts.
But I've read that book front to back several times. And now
Mhm.
I read it book for book because it's 66 different books. And if you include the Apocrypha, it's 72.
73.
Apocrypha 73. So I've read that shit. All of it. And the crux of everything, I don't have a problem with moral values, the 10 commandments. I don't have a problem with love your neighbor. I have a problem with the fact that you knew before you created us out of the dirt all of this shit was gonna go down. We talk about millennia's worth of shit for us, not you. This is a day to you. You don't give a fuck. For us, we gotta go through this shit. And now in 2025, we're still sitting here talking about what Jesus didn't want, what Yeshua said don't do. We're still sitting here talking about Christianity as though that's not just the Roman Empire in disguise. We're still sitting here talking about redemption as though we didn't grow up with bottles that said, turn this in for 5 cents because this amount of plastic is worth 5 cents. What are you redeeming us for?
So again, this is when it comes down to having that conversation where you've just acknowledged truth, right? You just told us that this world is land based in shit. Is an unbalanced, unfavorable system that we're living in,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So do I stand still, be angry, cuss, and cry about the system, and
Mm-mm.
then begin to harm people as a result of the system, even when I see them, you know,
No.
potentially going a little bit better into the, integrating a little bit better?
See that?
Do I treat them bad?
That's what I do. I burn incense and candles with sage and cinnamon and the things that I know that make me feel good inside. That's what I do. Because the reality of it is religion in my mind it's MK Ultra. It's mind control. And so
I agree with that, yeah.
Yeah. I almost don't want to play the second video because I hate agreeing with this nigga. But I want to play the second video because we're coming up on 9 o'clock and there's so much more to this. Can we do a part 2 next week? Because
I'm here for it.
This is a real, for me anyway, this has probably been the crux of the struggle of my identity. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so I'm gonna play this video real quick. Hold on. Because I'm trying not to be triggered. I'm trying so hard to be good. Y'all remember what happened when we talked about grace, and I try not to go there no more. Like, okay, so hold up.
Spirituality, I don't believe in religion. Let me give you the difference. Teach me. Well, spirituality is a personal and community system of trying to comprehend one's relationship with God, trying to figure out one's purpose in life, and trying to achieve God consciousness, which is reunion with your creator. That's spirituality. Religion is a system of psychological control and economic exploitation by parasites in the community who simply want to live off other people's money without earning it. And so they manipulate you into believing that only if you believe in this particular religious narrative that can't be proven, can't be scientifically validated. Jesus Christ don't have a cemetery. There's no gravestone. Moses has no gravestone. Muhammad ibn Abdullah has no gravestone. Noah, Jacob, where is the grave for these religious leaders? I'm not arguing that they don't exist.
Oh, yeah, we know that.
I'm not arguing that they don't exist. What I'm saying is your religious beliefs cannot be scientifically verified. You understand me? Spirituality doesn't concern itself with religious narrative. In other words, when you look at traditional African spirituality, even if you look at Chinese, and we gave it to them because we civilized China, East India, we gave it to them, we civilized them. I got a good question. They focus on establishing a relationship with supreme consciousness. They don't focus on, I'm talking about their traditional spiritual systems, not their modern stuff like Christianity. They don't focus on whether or not Jesus Christ was your savior, whether or not Muhammad was the last prophet of God, whether or not Moses was sent with the 10 Commandments. You understand me? They don't focus on that because that is doctrine and dogma, and doctrine and dogma has nothing to do with building a relationship with God.
Do you need another moment?
I'm gonna take a moment. Y'all go ahead and give thoughts on what he just said. I'll be right back.
No, you're fine. So where I agree with what he was saying wholeheartedly. Now when it comes to matters of if I want to go search and discover these gravestones, I'm not going to do that. That's somebody else's journey. But what he did say was very much in tune with what I said before. So I'm going to equate it to a cell phone. Is your provider T-Mobile? Verizon? Who's your provider? Who cares? So let's say if your provider was T-Mobile and you go to the store and you buy a phone from T-Mobile and T-Mobile says, this is your plan. This is what you pay for your plan. This is what you have, your benefits. And they send you home, right?
Right.
And you decide to make a phone call. Do you call T-Mobile first before you make the phone call? Or do you just make the phone call?
Just make the phone call.
Here's where religion and especially church shows you. They say, no, you have to call T-Mobile first. And I think that that is bizarre. I always thought it was bizarre. I'm like, at what point do you stop holding a person's hand like you're imbalanced and unable to walk?
I feel like the moment that people got in between spirituality to try to dissect it and turn it into a narrative that could be controlled is where it got polluted, where it got filtered through, where it got watered down, where it got turned into something completely different. Because quite literally, if whatever it is that you believe in, whatever it is that you're tapping into, right? When you pray, when you speak, when you do whatever, you're not gonna be like, all right, hold on, wait, let me get permission first. Hold on. All right.
Right.
So when did that happen? That doesn't happen even in prayer. And even if you tailor the prayer and say something along the lines of, Father, Son, Holy Ghost, right? What? What are you talking about?
What
When you
that's
have
no Go ahead. Sorry.
it's dissecting it at that magnitude, waters it down. It that you haven't learned. If you're not reading it, then you also don't know that your relationship is quite literally based upon the same thing that any other relationship is built on, what you put into it, your
Lies.
communication tactics and your labors of service, love, whatever it is that you put in, it is exactly the same. Quite literally, even in all of these religious sects, the ones that consider themselves Christianity, right? From the Roman Church, Catholics, whatever, whatever, all the way through Baptist, Pentecostal, Apostolic, non-denominational. They're all based in one principle that doesn't agree with the other, and that's why there's so many. But here's
Hmm.
something that all of the bases should all agree on. The storyline, if we can't even agree on the storyline,
That part.
and so you're left to your own personal interaction with it. What I had a problem with in my youth was that whether there was a hierarchy or not, I had spiritual gifts that superseded what it was you were teaching. Not only did I know it, right, but I had too much knowledge for me to sit amongst children. After a while, they had to sit me amongst the adults
Right.
because you're not teaching me any. I'm not getting anything out of this. As a matter of fact, I'm playing around with my my books like, oh, this is Vacation Bible School. I've already completed this booklet last night. I was bored, and so I figured I'd just fill it in.
Right.
I don't know why you're supposed to be here for 6 weeks. Like you can't just skip ahead. I've been skipping ahead for a very, very,
Do you
very
know
long
how many
time.
times I've been on punishment and I had to read these passages so my mom wouldn't kill
You're
me?
not like
Like,
you're not you're here at the church on a couple of hour basis, but where I live at, right? I better know that Bible the same way that I know this Quran.
right.
There isn't anything in between. I better know both, just as sharp. So you asking me five questions about something I've been reading since what, 7, 8? This isn't even new.
Hmm.
And so now we then pull an adult who's supposed to know this. And then we're now separating spirituality because the moment that I opened my mouth and I said, that doesn't say that like that. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm the teacher. I know this word. You be quiet.
Right.
Let me call my mother to come get me because you're crazy. What are you talking about? It doesn't say that. That right there, that separation from I know God, He talks to me. We cool. Like we kick it old school. Like this is not a thing. Like, I didn't just learn this. This wasn't something that I just picked up in a book. Yeah, I read the book. Yeah, it's like anything else, like any other instruction manual. I read it
Hmm.
inside out, beginning to end, in between, trying to find myself in it, trying to find some type of
Hmm.
identity. And I felt like something's missing because these things don't work together. Some of this doesn't make sense to what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing, and what you're saying. So now I gotta read it for myself to try to figure out. who I am and how I fit into this narrative. Am I spiritual or am I religious? Do I just take what you say and believe it? Or what?
And that's what I think is where
As an adult, having to explain to people that I believe that I'm not religious is the crux of this conversation for me. I feel like people, like she just said, don't actually read it. They're fed it, spoon fed at that. Like it's not even.
yeah.
I
In
literally did an
pieces.
individual study on the mustard seed.
And it's favorable pieces. That's the
Right.
part that
Well, see, here's the
That
thing.
fits the narrative that they're trying to bring. Go ahead, Boo. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
right.
I do believe in the Bible. I believe that the Bible has a lot of good things to teach us, just like any other book that we read. Howsoever, what we've been taught from the Bible has been so cherry picked and so
Help!
that's exactly
Help!
that's exactly how
Help!
religion makes me feel, William. That's exactly how religion makes me feel. The cord is in my glasses, everything's falling apart. Listen, it's so fucking cherry picked in my mind. Wound up, I'm in like this crusade of going back for all of the singular scriptures that we get taught. Faith of a mustard seed. What's another good one, y'all? Like the Ten Commandments. Oh God, what was the other one? Moderation. Everything in moderation is the one I'm doing right now. Okay, because moderation is mentioned several times in the Bible, but it means something different every time, which led me to believe that.
So does judge.
Right. Which led me to believe that what they're talking about when they say moderation has nothing to do with the external thing. Understanding yourself and knowing what you need to moderate for you is what they're talking about. Faith of a mustard seed. I had to go and do research on what a mustard seed looks like, what it is, and how it grows to understand why that shit is important. And that's what I don't like about
crazy.
Yeah. So just to break it down really quickly for y'all. I've heard you have to have the faith of a mustard seed and you can move mountains my whole life. Not understanding how small a mustard seed was, first of all. Not understanding the resilience and strength and size of the roots and the branches of the mustard tree. What led me to this was actually a totally different scripture. Y'all remember when the disciples was like, yeah, Jesus, because that's how it's in the Bible, right? Jesus,
Right.
we have went out here and did what you tried to tell us to do.
Told us.
Look, but them demons didn't come out that nigga. So why can't you pull the demons out the nigga like you could pull the demons out the nigga? And he was like, oh, ye of little faith. Which led me to believe that the mustard seed comment can't be about size.
Mm-mm.
And then I had to go figure out what the fuck the mustard seed, because it's not a small amount of faith can move the mountain. It's faith that's so deeply rooted that the tree underneath the ground looks the same as the tree is up above the ground. That's what mustard seed scripture is all about, but nobody ever knows that when they're in church.
Nope, all they talk about is size. Continue.
And size does
Go
matter.
get your Cadillac.
That part. Size does matter, but not in this conversation. Okay.
Look at him. Good night.
It does matter, but don't get not in this. Right. That part. Hey, hit him with it. Get. Oh, lay hands on you, and I am delivered. I am delivered. This is the type of This is the type of churching that has led me as far away from church as I am from herpes.
Good night.
I mean,
thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, y'all, I had to take a little break because this really does affect me, because I think that this ideal of who you are, your moral value system is based in this religion idea.
Mm-hmm.
And so it sucks. I've told y'all a million times how many nights I've cried because I've got friends who's out here stripping and hoeing and selling drugs and doing it. And I'm like, why am I struggling based on my morals and values.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to be blessed.
Right.
Which is why I said before, it feels like an abusive relationship. God, why do
On
you
earth as it is in heaven.
that part? Why do you need me to be broken in order to be acceptable? Why do you
Because
need
you
less than?
have to be broken to be made whole.
No, I was whole before you broke me, you lousy God. And I'm gonna say it because people don't like to hear it, but I say it out loud because I was broke before. I wasn't broke before you broke me, you little bitch. And now I gotta pick up the pieces from you shattering me because I still gotta live the life that you're providing me.
All you gotta do is sit on the potter's table.
Just so we're not going there yet. I have come to grips with what God's grace is. Okay, y'all, just to bring it forward from season 3. I have come to grips with God's grace. I get it now. Howsoever, there's still several what's the word I'm looking for? Modalities. I think that's a good word. There are several modalities that really fucking burn my fucking butt. Like,
Burn her biscuits.
for real. I feel like I'm literally sitting at the gates of hell every time I do something. Because I was taught that these are the things you're not supposed to do. When you are 40 years old and you have a parent who still sits there and is like, you can't cuss, that's against God. But when you ask them to show you where God said that,
like, I feel like the definition of curse.
So
I mean, need to be separated. I just
cuss and curse are two completely separate words.
All right, I just
now if I'm going around putting pox on all y'all houses, then I'm fucked up. But a pox on some of y'all houses because some of y'all need to understand that y'all don't never have the lamb's blood when you're supposed to have the lamb's blood. Meanwhile, your wife is over here as table seasoning.
But if I come over here and stomp on all your shoes.
And don't get mad, y'all. Christmas is right around the corner. Y'all celebrate Coca-Cola. Anyway.
Saturnale is coming. And that was that was the point I was making earlier. So one thing I will say, and I'm going to leave it at that for the evening because we're cutting it close. And we'll come back to this next week, I hope. But, and therefore, however, comma. Any religion outside of any Christian religion, let me say it like that, right, is actually just an extension of the Roman Empire. The Romans who were in power when Jesus, the ones who killed y'all's beloved Jesus, them niggas said, oh shit, what that nigga was talking about really caught on. So let's adopt some of that so that the people, the Gentiles, the pagans, because those are one and the same, since they like to use different words to confuse y'all.
The Jews and the Gentiles.
Right. They said they're not going to get on board unless we bring some of their shit with us. So you have a holiday for a man who was never born in winter. According to the book that y'all preach to me from. Based on a holiday that is about fucking people in the ass and giving presents.
Actually, that birthday falls into the winter solstice and has nothing to do with the actual birth.
Y'all sit around drinking in Starbucks, celebrating Istara, the goddess of spring harvest. The same y'all celebrate Christmas, which is the winter solstice.
So again, I think at some point when you're dealing with what beliefs are and what knowing is, it's like for me, I'm looking at, all right. I know.
Yeah, William lotioned his knuckles real good today. I'm so proud of you.
I'm telling you.
Did y'all see
this?
Did y'all see it?
That's it.
I've been redeemed. Listen.
A greasy boy is a happy boy. I like it.
I've been redeemed. See, now you see. I just look at God. Look if I be that guy. All you had to do was sit and just sat there. God just fought my battle right there. I was
Oh my God.
Because let me tell y'all something. I will walk out the house and I give a good goddamn at the age of 41 when I met. And she'd be like, yo, why ain't you got no? And I'm like, I ain't meet nobody right now. And then I would be like, why are you greasing them girls up so like she's like, a greasy girl's a good girl. What'd you say?
A greasy girl is a happy girl.
A greasy girl's a happy girl.
That's right. You're clear.
And you know,
today.
one day, and I'm gonna keep it honest with you, and I don't care who judges me. Fuck y'all. One day, I was like, you know what? I'm just going, you know, and it was recently. I'm not gonna hold you. It was recently. Because again, if I don't want to be around anybody, if my show of unavailable is dry skin, my skin's not really dry. It's just
he's dark skin, so he ashy, y'all. That's what
it don't take much. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take care of myself, and I'm going to clean my entire house, top to bottom. Boom. And I did baseboards.
Yay! You did the baseboards.
The doors. I mean, I took the little brush. And
can I tell the people why that's important to us and why we're clapping?
Sure.
So when I first met William, he's like, yeah, I've been going through it, but I'm cleaning, my house is clean. And my first question to him, because I just know the difference between men and women, it wasn't even a diss.
Did you clean your baseboards?
Is the baseboards clean? And he was like, what? Like, what the fuck is the baseboard almost? Like, that was not like,
I ain't clean no fucking baseboards.
This is the difference between women and men. Y'all will go through some shit and straighten up a little bit and say, this shit is clean and a motherfucker.
I will empty shit out.
Got every roach and fly and stuff and everything else, cat fur and all
webs and shit.
Right. So
scared. I'm not gonna lie to you. It scared me when I saw that rag. So I got one of them, and I'm trying to redirect. And this is about redemption, y'all. I have redemptive qualities and redemptive traits. So I grabbed one of them little magic erasers, thinking that was gonna be enough for a fucking 1,400 square feet.
No,
man,
a whole pack of them shits.
Fuck a whole pack. I bought the case. I bought a case of them, John. Those sponges, those scrub daddies. I bought a couple scrub mommies, and then I didn't start scrubbing so much. My fucking knuckle was chafing, and the first thing I thought about was them Africans that braid your hair, and they's gonna get that greasy part right there that when they flick you get a fucking concussion. I said I can't do that, so I had to go ahead and get the yellow gloves. Now I got motherfucking yellow gloves up to my goddamn elbow, and I'm really cleaning.
I'm proud of you.
I'm not done.
Of course, as we talk about it, cleanliness is always next to godliness, right?
But then I had to realize, I'm like, okay, you got to make sure that you got to stay hydrated because all that stuff, you got to stay hydrated, those chemicals and everything. And then I got complimented that this young lady said, you a clean brother right there. I said, get away from me, ye.
Yeah, because what the fuck is you noticing this shit for now? You wasn't down when I was out here.
Because I wasn't ready. Because I usually keep myself unavailable.
But those be the moments for me where I'm Rick Ross. Like, you wasn't with me when I was shooting in the gym, bitch. Like, don't come over here now that I'm clean when you've been seeing me every day.
But the thing is, I wasn't ready, is what I'm saying.
I wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready. But I thought about what Kristen said, and a lot of things that Kristen said, she wasn't all the way wrong.
Damn.
She was.
Damn,
it's like you kicked me during Scorpio season.
Wow.
I gotta get some sort of lick.
Wow, chicken wings and pork fried rice.
Chicken wings and pork fried rice. God damn it.
Hey man.
God damn it, William.
I give you 9 fingers. But
here's the one that's left over.
No, but like that's a redeeming, and I think that right there was the essence of what redemption is.
Mm-hmm. But that's
because I can still bag no matter. But what am I bagging?
That's amongst the people, right? Redemption amongst the people is us being a part of the fellowship, to help one another stay greasy.
Yeah.
You can't slip and slide through this bitch if you're not greasy. You finna get stuck.
Listen.
And so I feel as though whoever prints the 5 cents message on the side of the bottle, right, is who is making that 5 cents, or who is making whatever they're making off of the recycled. They're making way more than 5 cents, but you get 5 cents back for redemption, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's what that feels like to me. Like, I'm getting a nickel out this. So why the fuck do you need to redeem me to yourself when you made me in the first place? What am I being recycled into? Which then
I
leads.
feel like.
Oh, so let me ask you a question.
Hmm.
And I think Lovey probably saw where I was going.
Maybe not.
So
Maybe not. But
I
go
got this
ahead.
bottle, right? And it's I'm trying to find out how much I'm gonna get recycled back from it. I'm looking.
Nothing, because they don't even do that shit no more.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
They still got centers where you go and you can get all kinds of your 5 and 10
5 cents.
cent, baby.
All right. Nope,
What?
nope, nope. This is 15 cents.
Yeah,
Oh,
real
he done
glass.
came up.
It's
He
real
done
glass.
came up.
Yep. Look
That's
at
real
that. Look at
glass.
that. That's 15 cents.
Don't
So
adjust some glasses like
if
that.
I choose to just take this bottle, right, and just hand it off to somebody, they're going to find something more value of this bottle than I will, right? So
How
I'm just getting, huh?
how so?
Hear
Because
me out.
value is in the eye of the
No.
beholder, right?
Aha. Here
Mm-hmm.
we are. You ready? That's if you just give that bottle back just like this. You drank the contents and said, fuck it, bow. But let's say you decide to look at this bottle and said, I want to make something out of this bottle and I want to create something, right? So you now create, who knows what you create out of this bottle? Like, your mind is
You give
extraordinary.
it to Lovey
You give it your
and
character, your
you do
lovey,
it.
and then
Right.
you now put this thing on maybe display in your window, and somebody walks by your house and they say, this bottle of liquor together costs $11.99, by the way. They say, I love that. Where'd you get it? You're like, I made it. And then somebody says, I'll give you $50 for it. You still redeem the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, you didn't put any effort or activity into it. If you didn't do any work to the thing, you're only going to get 15 cents.
Yeah.
And it's going to run out.
I guess because the way I think. I won't say because of who I am, but the way I think.
Mm-hmm.
Once I've done all of the work to make the bottle into art, right? Once I've done all of the work to make the bottle into art, now it's priceless. And
That was the part. Go
yeah,
ahead. Go ahead.
no, so I feel as though that $50 would be an insult once it's a work of art in my window. You know what I mean? So this is why the idea of redemption kind of fucks with me, because either you value us the way you said you did in Genesis, or you sit on us the way you did in the New Testament.
Right.
Way, it's just like people don't seem to carry that ideal when they're talking about biblical practice and religion. The fact that God looked so low on us to feel like he needed to send his one son that he fucked somebody to get. Not none of the other creations, but that one son that he fucked somebody to get, because that's what only begotten means. To save us means we ain't worth the earth we was created from.
I agree. The contradiction in how it's put and how it's laid out does suggest that. Here's where I'll tie it. Your worship is as filthy rags unto the Lord. Filthy rags are tampons, basically. They're the rags that you use when you have your menstrual cycle, which have no value but trash.
So
However,
go ahead. Go
the
ahead.
redemption factor of one entity is to suffice for the entirety of humanity and its entire body.
Horrible.
So here's what I will say again to that.
Happy.
If Kristen met me and I was just I had promise. And one would say I still have some promise, work to do. Duh.
Uh,
Um, but you see progress, and I am now giving you. Why are you turning your face up already?
Because you know how much I hate the word potential, and that sounds like this is where that's going.
No,
maybe
I
not.
said progress. I
Okay.
said you saw the progress,
Promise them
and
progress
as
sounds like
and
potential.
as a sorry, so you saw the promise, then you went to the progress, and
Mhm.
now you're saying, okay, now I'm giving you, let's say, homage, celebration. I'm giving you your flowers to show that I appreciate what you've done to allow me to be where I am today. How do you respond to that?
Fuck you and your dead ass plants.
Here's where I have an issue with the measure and who created the measuring stick. The person who reconstructed the deciphering of this said book is also the person who created a book of alchemy and witchcraft.
It's convincing, right? It's crazy.
Wait, sorry, I don't know why that's so comical. But in that same tense, in order to create a synopsis of control and a regulation of religiosity, right? And the backbreaking portion that you're expected to exhibit in order to attain this said redemption, said sainthood, said whatever.
Hmm.
I then start to want to banter on the validity of that. Like, is it enough if I lay myself on my own proverbial
Hmm.
cross? Or is it enough that I'm giving in enough myself and my being to create a picture of what you're saying you want? Or is it that I'm giving of myself for my neighbor, for my community, for my family, for your needs
Hmm.
before my own? Which thing actually brings the redemption then, if in fact the person who deciphered it decided to cut out a few things because it didn't go along with their narrative? Then what is it really? Like, I feel like you're just moving the goalpost from one
Hmm.
location to the other. And how can I ever measure up if, in fact, I don't even know what that is? How,
Right.
to what? What? So then, not more than what I'm being
Hmm.
redeemed to, but what is redemption even? Define it for real, because you've just given me a definition that basically sounds like I might as well be murdered in essence in order to attain it, or live the life that I'm suggesting you live, or
Hmm.
be who I said I want you to be. But did I say that? And
Right.
how do I know? So then, can I be religious? Or do I have to be spiritual in order for me to decipher this whole thing? Because it's a very broad picture. And depending on what it was that I was raised in, I was raised in what would be like a Pentecostal church, and
Hmm.
then branched out and was like, as a child who had way too many spiritual gifts and sat around knowing exactly what was in and what was out, I know exactly that those were not tongues. That isn't God. You smell like that spirit that you're operating in and touching people. That's not it. And every
Right.
time you go to put your hand on me, I suddenly want to vomit. I knew that from a child.
Hmm.
Now I'm an adult. What is it that I'm supposed to base this on? That's
Hmm.
where the problem between spirituality and religion are always going to be at war, because here's the point of fact. Where's the truth? Who knows? What's the truth? What is
Hmm.
it? And where do we start to measure from?
And that part right there. Oh, go ahead, Kristen. I can't hear you.
Yeah, you good? Can I hear
Yeah,
you
I
now?
can hear you now.
I can hear you now.
The truth is that in
Hmm.
my mind. Oh, sorry. Um,
Oh, it's me. Oh,
truth is that people don't
Timothy.
know what I said before. The Romans aka the Roman Catholic Church, and they distinctly made it a different name. They chose Catholicism as the name for the Roman Empire to be able to move forward. There is not a president, world ruler, whatever, that does not have to go and kiss the Pope's ring. They have every seeker on the planet underneath the city states of the Vatican. This is a still active fucking government that is now ruling the planet, and every sect of Christianity religion is based on Catholicism. Y'all are forgetting that, because the Romans are still the Romans, regardless of whether you call it Catholic or not.
And
The world and its order is based on Catholicism and the Roman Catholic Church, but the body, right, sees that as every literal representation of
right,
idolatry.
right.
There isn't anything about it that is even real. Like they're still worshiping a woman who carried a seed, who did, and people who were there or
And
not. It's all based upon the hierarchy.
mm-hmm.
So when we say
It
that,
is.
and
understand
mm-hmm.
the Game of Thrones and the bastard son that will become king.
And I go ahead. I
I
think
mean,
that
if we're gonna have a war of the
we're
bastards, then
definitely
call me Jon Snow.
all in agreement here. Like it's the religion that is the issue. That's something that we agree with. We it's the however, the curiosity for me is already understanding that nothing about that world of religion surprises me too much. It just doesn't. Sorry to say it that way, it just doesn't. However,
True.
the curiosity of the cat arouses in me to say, "Hey, what is under that Vatican, though?" But what what I will say to
I
that
mean,
notion, right?
considering what's been unearthed.
I mean, but what I will say to that notion and to what you guys are saying, and I'll be very clear again. It's more to me about the idea of spirituality and relationship. Now, if spirituality and relationship then grows to a greater community, then that has to be the priority first. And your establishment of yourself and your connection with God has to be first. And we're taking religion out of this. Because
Fact.
just like you both said,
But
if
I'm
I'm going
tired
ahead and
of
go
asking
ahead.
me and her if we're witches because we're more spiritual than religious. I'm
Well,
tired.
I mean, then you might as well
Considering
call
I've
me
been
a
kicked
warlock.
out, considering I've been kicked out of several institutions on that exact premise, you're a witch. You didn't hear God say that.
I mean, funny
But
story.
but I
Funny story, Lovey. I I was demonized one time. I got kicked out of this one church. And I asked the pastor. Well, no, it was a elder. I said, "What happens when you finally like find out where Yeshua has been going?
yes, you got tagged. It's me. Go ahead.
Like
Listen, pay
who
attention.
me?
No, her. That's why she
Oh,
looked at her phone just
I
now.
was like,
That was
well, what happened? Once you find out, like this person that y'all been saying, what if you find out, like, kind of the trail, and then you find out that there has been a name change, and now you guys are arguing about this name change, and what happens once you find out that there's a code that has to be cracked here, and all this stuff right here, you find out where he was. He went that away, and then he circled back that away. The person that y'all saying, right? What if we find that out? He took me to the pastor's office, right?
course, of
And
course, of
and
course.
then
Right.
he said,
That's all
ask
they
the
know.
question again. I said, well, what happens? Like when you find out, like all this stuff, and then once you find out where he resided, you found out that a specific person that y'all kept saying that this person was married to, and they met up with kids. So what happens when you find that out? He said, you need to leave this church and don't ever come back. Because
Mm.
if you tell the people the truth, do. And I said, well, why do y'all keep saying that? And then you don't talk about it wouldn't it be easier? It would be easier if you taught everybody, damn the religion, damn all this sobbing and crying and all this other dumb shit. What?
because I had to put up my church finger. It's never easy to control mass of people.
You know how hard it is to get one person to take a deep breath?
Because he tries with me. He
you know, what's crazy?
Get me to take a deep breath. I swear.
I don't want to advocate and go left, but look, Pete, to your question, how dare we think that the Garden of Eden started with Adam and Eve and then find out that there was a Lilith? Bricks. So how many was
How
it?
dare you find out that there were 5 Genesis and Revelations before you got to fucking
How did they come out of the garden
Deuteronomy? Like, what the hell?
And mate with other people if in fact the people in the garden were the only people?
How Cain go to his family? When they was the only 3 motherfuckers, how did he go to his family?
Right.
I feel so validated. I just tell y'all, I feel so validated because every question that y'all asking is
This is a lot. Listen, as many questions as I have asked, and someone said, "You don't question God." First of all, I got lots of questions, and the simple fact that I sat and read through the entire book of Psalms before I ever got to any other books where it shows you the relationship between God and man, I for damn sure have questions. Everybody else had questions. I'm gonna have some questions, and somebody gonna answer, or y'all gonna get up out my face with that because you're not gonna tell me not to question.
Whoever David really was, that motherfucker was a hell of a pen and paper artist. That man.
Hey. David was an artiste, but you know one thing that David was continuously? He was a man of habit. And we knew that there was one thing that could get David to rise before the scripture and the word and the voice of God. And that was that. Okay.
Here's another interesting spectacle.
That part.
We know, and this is stuff that I thought about a long time ago, but when even my mom kind of slapped me back then, she gave me an apology years later, like you're talking about damn near 2 decades later, 3 decades later. But I asked a question. I said, "Hey, Mom, how many y'all keep saying that David been fighting since he was about 12, 13 years old? He been in wars. He been fighting kings. He been fighting this. How all of a sudden his homies girl finds it coincidentally interesting to say, hey, there's a fountain, let me just bathe right here. How come he didn't see her any other day? Because they've been through a lot of fights and David has sent him off a lot of times. How come that specific day y'all made and I'm not saying that Bathsheba was but what I am saying is, how come, if you really look at it, Bathsheba was, what's his name's, David's other best friend's niece. So they were all together.
I'll be right back, y'all.
The names are in the Bible. Like, they're all right there. Bathsheba was preordained to be right there where she was. Somebody told her to go right there. And they said, we're going to go ahead and take care of the dude. We need you right there because there's a certain lineage. And that came by the way of David's other best friend.
Okay.
Otherwise, David would have never even looked over there.
Are we now forgetting that this is a written book by a wonderful writing artist? This is where I get fucked up. We talk about biblical stories.
It's like the Sherlock Holmes of it all.
Again, I will say this again. The person who reorchestrated the writing of said book also wrote the book of alchemy and witchcraft. Now, and not a cheap, watered down version either.
The Shakespeare.
I'm talking about the Shakespearean, unadulterated, clean, this works version. I'm talking about the reason we took the book of Enoch out where we discussed witchcraft. Oh my God. That part. I'm
Swallowed.
talking about why the angels really came down here to play with humans and man.
Thing.
I'm talking about that books wrote the book
So
and
this is
Hey,
supposedly cleaned it up in a
this.
version that would
hey.
align with said agenda.
Time out. Time out. Time
Oh,
out.
what?
All right.
Did any of y'all watch the old? Or if the show was not on there anymore, American Gods.
Yes, I love that show.
Listen,
That's
Orlando
my jam.
needs
Orlando.
an Oscar. He needs an Oscar for
He
that speech.
needs an First
Hey,
of all,
that's
somebody go ahead and send me a couple billion because I'm finna put him on so he can run the whole
yo,
synopsis over again because I'm sick of it. Tell me the truth. Don't clean it up. Make it nasty just how it is. And I'm willing to go.
American Gods put a lot of stuff in context and
Can I
clarity for
just
y'all.
say, look, can I just say that
Go ahead.
American Gods? See, anybody who knows me knows that the puzzle for me comes from TV and movies. Because I was
Mhm.
that kid as a latchkey kid and an only child who was with the TV all the
Right.
time. American Gods is what set me on this fucking path.
Yep.
The fucking American
Mhm.
Gods, the Zeitgeist video from fucking YouTube. Y'all remember that back?
Mhm.
Jesus.
And there's a video on YouTube called "The Hidden Agenda," the stolen history of Africans or African
Mhm.
Americans or something like that.
Mhm.
These three videos over the course of like 5 years, 5 years, five. Oh, and The Secret, because that was in there somewhere
The
too.
secret.
Mhm.
Look, 5 years, but like in that course of 15 years of my life from 2000,
Hmm.
set me on this path where I just totally gave up on religion. I've had a time in my life where I consider myself atheist. And I say these things so that people don't look at me like I'm just spouting from nowhere. No, in my late teens, early 20s, I did not believe there was a God because there was no way that my childhood was acceptable if God is a real thing. We're going to take that, right? Then I said,
Yep.
I had a child. I had my first child. And then I got perspective. And that was perspective on the idea that my mother, who anytime we put a label on something, it gets on a pedestal, right? And so having a child as a young 20, 24, 23, 24-year-old woman, I want to say 24 when she was born, made me realize that my mother, who was the only parent I knew outside of God, so I had mom and I had God. Those was my parents because I didn't have a father, right? Made me realize she was just a woman trying to make it in the world like me, to raise me and doing everything that she could. So that's the part of the path. Then I saw the Zeitgeist video, which let me know that Jesus was Horus. And everything started coming together with the different religions and ideas that they keep putting in front of us. See, this is where y'all fucked up. I'm gonna tell y'all, the people in control, they, them, those motherfuckers. When I'm always like, who the fuck is they? That's them. I'm talking to y'all. Here's where y'all fucked up. Y'all let me realize that it's just a repeating cycle of information from way back when they was carving shit in stone tablets. Everything's just being recycled. They let me know that with the Zeitgeist video right in and around the time of 9/11. And that shit affecting me when 9/11 happened changed my life.
Mhm.
Because the lies, the amount of lies that was told on 9/11 made me realize that this shit can't be real. And then I started believing in the Matrix because that also happened at the same time. Like, y'all gotta understand that. Lies that was told on 9/11 made me realize that this shit can't. Oh, baby, you watching for me?
Oh.
Good. You watching for me? I love you. But yeah, like the fact that all of this stuff kind of came into convergence around the time of one of the biggest American conspiracies of my lifetime made me realize that some of this shit ain't actually, not only is it not real, but it's not solid. Like, y'all literally have me standing on nothing. And so how do I come to stand on 10 toes down on real ground if the Matrix is a simulation and Jesus ain't real because it's just every other story that's ever been told put into a facility that I can understand. And then American Gods. Oh, y'all fucked up.
And again, I think, and I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. And this may sound wild coming from a person from a 2-parent household, and even with my circumstances, I can honestly say that a single parent household, especially absent a father, is likely the worst you can get other than neither parent.
Okay, so listen,
I'm
hear me.
I'm listening.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
no, no, no. Go ahead.
Okay, because I agree to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
To an extent,
Mm-hmm.
right? The reason why I agree is because at very least, and where we disagree is where I'm going.
Sure.
At very least, I grew up with two mothers, basically, my grandmother and my mother,
Sure.
right? And then God the Father.
Sure.
So I didn't have a 2-parent household. If you count God as the father,
Mm-hmm.
when you have a single parent household where the father is the main character,
Mm-hmm.
then you got a gay household. And it's actually more detrimental because at very least I have a male figure,
mm-hmm.
female figure to try and figure out the balance for myself.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't have that women, and this is what's wrong with religion and why I think it's fucked up that y'all erase the female power out of it to try and get rid
that's
of.
essentially where I was getting to.
I know.
When you're going to the idea of like a single parent home, and it's never to say that every single parent home is susceptible to all negative things. And I know that people like to go extreme, but let's now deal with reality now. When we're looking at probability, it would be best to have your left hand and your right hand protected, as opposed to just having your left hand protected knowing you got a right hand, or just your right hand protected knowing you got a left. If you could have your front protected and your back, wouldn't you prefer it?
Yeah.
The obvious notion would be yes. So the point is, the 2-parent home is where the balance, like you said, allows for one individual to see what it looks like when it goes well, or look at it when it goes really, really bad.
So let me ask you this, William,
Go ahead.
while we talk about it, because y'all both come from 2-parent homes. I don't, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I, as an adult, created a 2-parent home for at least 2 of my children.
Mm-hmm.
When one of those parents is absent, even though they're in the house, is that worse or better?
That's worse.
It's worse.
That's worse.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like we talk about this idea, and this is, I think, part of the why. Shouts out to Show Off. He got a show coming up in Harlem. I think it's gonna be dope. But this is the part of the reason why me and Show Off used to get in it so much, because he would heavily spout this rhetoric about 2-parent homes and single-parent homes. And my idea, because I lived in a single-parent home my whole childhood, but then grew up to force a 2-parent home where there was one parent who was not mentally, emotionally present, but was physically there.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I was saying. Like, the important part, the
This
other side of it,
ideology is
or
ridiculous.
the other side of it again, is being able to see what you like, and also seeing what damn sure ain't gonna work. And that comes from a it comes from growth. Like you said, that parent that's been neglectful and they've been right in the home, it does impact that a lot better, or
Well,
a lot worse
so much
in some
neglect.
cases.
In the case of my older 2 children, because y'all know I have 2 olders, 2 youngers, so I call them the bigs and the littles. So in the case of the bigs, it wasn't necessarily purposefully neglectful. He was working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week to provide, because he wanted to meet the standard of what biblically and societally he's supposed to do as a man.
Okay, but at the end of the day, what did he succumb to? He succumbed to himself.
Bitches and hoes
And
and
again,
crap.
that don't make him no far worse or greater than any
Sorry.
of the situations that I may have done that may have put me in the frame and not in good standing with
Ah.
my kids. But what I will say is at some point you have to just learn to grow. Not you, not
So I'm
you.
gonna do this in
We're
public.
dealing with
We got
him.
a couple of
We
viewers.
gotta hold up.
Okay, go ahead.
We
Sorry.
gotta learn to at some point as men grow up and reestablish yourself into a place where you're saying, hey, this is what I am. Not saying I'm a bad person, but this is what I am and my specific design purposed for this specific event.
Mm.
It's simple. And from here, I can grow into becoming so much greater. But foundationally, this is what I am.
Right. So
And I know 90% of men that in that I look around and observe can't even say that.
just to get just for clarity, I'll say for clarity's sake, can I say what I think you're saying?
Sure.
Honesty is the best motherfucking policy.
I'm 100%.
Okay. With that being said, what I started to say before when I cut you off, and I'm sorry I've been drinking, y'all. I'm usually not this rude. And I apologize for cutting you off.
You're okay.
Okay? My ex-husband wants to come on this show. And that's why I wanted to say it. I'm saying it to y'all, and I'm saying it to the people watching. So, chat, let me know if y'all would like to see him come on and spout his ideas and fellow hosts.
I'm not interested. And I hope he sees this. I mean, he's going to inevitably see it. We're on YouTube. And I'm going to tell you why.
Huh.
I'm going to tell you why I'm not interested. I'm
Please
not
tell me
interested.
button.
Begging me. Like every time I talk to him, it's like, why can't I come on
I'm
the podcast?
I'm not interested because as BJ Morton would say, you weren't interested when we were beginning and you were out doing what you wanted to do. I don't know your personal business with you and Kristen, and even if I did, it's not the place right here to even disclose it. But
Say
what
it
I
again,
do
William.
know is
No,
that
say it
we
again,
had
because he thinks that y'all know all
Say
about
that again.
so
right.
what I do know is
She
that
does.
when we had a back chat when we first started, we didn't see I don't even know your name, family. I don't know what you're good at. I know I do
And fuck the shit up. That's it.
what I do know, and this is not an indictment to you. I attribute it to bad behavior. What I
My
do
God.
know is that when Kristen comes on the line, knowing that she had to deal with a lot of heavy stuff that I know that you're responsible for, without her saying it, I do know that I'm responsible to have to calm her down so that we can get ready. So, no, I am not interested in hearing your victim story about what the things that you do or don't do. So, you can take that, you can put it in the comments, and you can kick rocks. So, I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. Don't come on here with that nonsense.
My turn.
You won't get a link.
My turn. My turn. We've met before, and in my humble opinion, I got this. You can proceed with whatever it was that you were doing before, whatever it is that you're going to do now, and whatever it is that is going to come in the future. Because, like I said before, and I'll continue to state today, that's mine. Thank you for making sure that it was ordinated, connected, and perfected. But you're done. You've been done. You've been set aside. The flame was lit. You've been incinerated, and you have nothing to give, nothing to prove, nothing to put forward, and your opinion isn't even valid. I'll go ahead and toss the mic there and let it hit the floor because, like I said, we're done with you. We've been done with you, and there isn't even another chapter that we need to decide, discuss, or get into. And let this be the last time that we even mention whatever it is your name is, because at this particular moment, who gives a fuck? And that's it. That's the benediction. That's the resurrection. And y'all can take up my offering.
The
Good
plate.
night.
Hey, pass the motherfucking plate. listen. So the reason why I brought that up on the show, because y'all know I'm not messy like that for real, is because he seems to feel like I'm scared of his opinion if he comes on the show. That's what I've been told. So I'm bringing to the people who also run the show with me to see if y'all feel like there's any value in having him on the show.
So I'm going to put it this way. Now, again, I don't know the man, but when you're asking me for things that I know you should be asking another person for, nothing material. So just to be very clear, this woman has never asked me for nothing materialistic. But when I hear in her tone things that I'm registering as, why ain't that taken care of? As a me folk, I
In case y'all missed that, that's a man.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to
He
sit
didn't
here
say
and
it, but
waste.
that's what he's saying
I'm
as
not.
a man.
I'm.
Oh,
I could suggestively say as a partner because again, you could go and have the same conversation with Lovey and Lovey as a her folk, a person that listens, a person that understands, a person that qualifies himself and not has to justify himself. You gotta be that thing first. You know what I mean? And let your fruit speak for you. But you are not going to have a platform to go in and have me lose my character. I didn't already did that.
I'm trying to
I'm
suppress
not.
a smile, and
I'm
I
not
can't
gonna.
help it. I'm
I'm not
sorry.
gonna do it again. Nope. So if you have a
I feel
story to
like the
tell
only
about your life,
necessity that
kick
is to be
rocks, write a
had is
book.
so that a validation can be set forth because the only thing that you can procure after all of this time would be a level of victimhood. And I'm going to go ahead and procure the response for the room and the board and the table. We're not into victimization and us, agreeing to all of that bullshit. All right. And that's that.
This is where
I
people think
mean,
I'm no, hold on, William, because I will say this. This is a lot of the time because I am very passionate, because I am outspoken, because I don't give a fuck about what none of y'all think about me for real. People often think that I am heartless. But this is a part of why I do bring these things to the table here. Like I am officer friendly. I'm the first one to yeah, you did it, boo. You did
it was so slow though. It was like,
because we've been
Right?
practicing.
Because I wanted her to know how much time I've spent with making sure that that's what it looks like. I could
Yes.
very well have done this,
Look,
but so she knows,
break
okay? Because you know me,
yes.
okay? You
I
know
appreciate this,
me,
not this. I
okay?
appreciate this,
Catch it.
not this.
Like,
That. Um,
go
so
ahead.
like I think a lot of people don't understand my viewpoints because they don't know where I came from.
Hmm.
Don't understand Roxbury in 1983. They don't understand abusive relationship after abusive relationship because that's all I ever saw my mother go through. They don't understand that shit. Like they really do hear me and think my life is a lifetime movie. When no, I just actually had to live this because I didn't have control over who I was born to.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And so I bring these things to the table almost as like, y'all forgive me. Forgive me. Forgive me. Forgive me.
mm, mm.
That chestnut checkers has been a form of therapy for me. Because what you don't get, and the reason why William and I butt heads in November, because I love him as a person. And of course, I love my mother. My mother's a Scorpio, right? I love y'all. That man did so much damage to my psyche as a Scorpio that I just equated. So this is what we was talking about before, right? With religion. One church
Hmm.
is bad, so you don't go to no other church. That man did so much damage. I came out of an abusive relationship where I was
Hmm.
actually being beaten when I met him. And I was maybe 19 when I met him. I spent 20 years with a man who I was comparing to the gentleman before him. Now, mind y'all, and I just had another conversation about this the other day because people seem to think R. Kelly is this monster. Y'all don't understand what the fuck was going on in the 90s. I was a 16, 17-year-old girl in high school with a 24, 25-year-old boyfriend. That was the man who was beating me because I was a child and I didn't know how to get away from it and I didn't have a support system. I left that abusive relationship after having to abort a child. And I'm keeping it a buck with y'all because this is all about religion, right? Abortion is way tied into religion at this point, right? I had to abort a child from that relationship because I did not want to bring a child into this abusive situation where I am literally the Lifetime movie girl getting choked out because the motherfucking spaghetti didn't taste right. And I met my ex-husband after that relationship, and he treated me like a queen all the way up and until we had a child. Once we had a child, that child became the focus of his love, and I became the focus of his rage. That created the person that y'all see here today. And I still have to deal with this man because, unlike some of y'all hoes out here, all four of my children are from this man. I was in a long term, and not long term in the sense of 2 years, but 20 relationship with this man. And I don't think I've ever explained this to y'all on this level, right? 22 decades, 20 years with one person because I wanted a 2-parent home for my kids, because I valued family over everything. And that's not to ever say I didn't do things wrong. I was cheating just as much as he was. I think in the beginning, because he was a suburban young man, we was 19, 20 years old. He was from suburbia in New Jersey. I was from the hood in Boston. I did shit to him that he should have left.
So let me it's something interesting, and I think that we gotta give ourselves some, I
Right?
won't say grace.
No, look
I'll
great.
say I'll say
Don't say the G word.
again, I'll say, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. I didn't really know much about healthy relationships until I got out of my marriage. I was way outside of my marriage.
Right.
So
I
here
know
I here
anything about healthy
so
relationships.
here I am, right. So here I am, like holding myself accountable for all of my experiences, and based on what I know now. Like I do that to me, and that's again another self-inflicted wound.
I feel like we inflict those things on ourselves all the time. Like at this very same time that y'all were dealing with this, I had been working my way through the repercussions and the healing on having been abducted twice
Hmm.
within the same 4-year period. And a relationship wasn't something that I was even capable of.
Hmm.
Trust wasn't even something that I could fathom, and it had nothing to do with the two-parent home that I came from, the abuse, the
Mm-mm.
any of it, just the mindset of my ability to trust anything, anyone, any situation. I mean, I listened to someone sit in court and talk about how I walked past them and how it changed their life and how they sat around stalking me for months to figure out how they were going to collect me and keep me for as long as they wanted. So my mindset wasn't ready. Set aside the childhood abuse that I suffered and dealt with and watched and was inflicted on me. This was a whole nother level. So when y'all talk about these these 80s and rolling into these 90s, I hadn't even figured out what my identity was because it was constantly being destroyed by some other level of destruction. I might have been in church, but the mere thought of me having been sitting in church and someone's thinking that, I gotta keep you, I gotta put you in
It's
a
a
little box.
level of secrets,
Right. What else did I
bro.
have to lean on? Where was the structure to hold me up and give me some type of fortitude or backing or identity or whatever?
Hmm. And
There was
that was
nothing.
the part that, like, and like I said, it's really just for me, and it's something that I have to do, is not to be so damn hard on yourself.
Right.
Like, William, you're still a work in progress. I mean, like, there is a balance between being able to, get your shit off your chest, and being able to say, you know what, I have done the work to now consider myself in safe regard with someone
Right.
or a group of people, but I can't get that until I do the work. Now,
Right.
some can just some are just blessed. They may have some sort of overage of credit somewhere where their forefathers and prayed for them and said the right things. Mine didn't do that.
Can we not say
Right.
What
Father the ancestors no more?
or whatever spiritual ordinance you believe in,
No, no, no. And the reason
those
I say that, William, I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead and finish your thought, but I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say.
no, go ahead.
The reason why I'm so against the idea of forefathers and ancestors is tied into this whole of religious ideology. The idea of forefathers and ancestors. When we don't say my grandmother prayed for me, my great great grandmother did, and it gets relegated to this idea of ancestor or forefather. It's just another way that they have taken away our spirituality as ancestors, as Africans, as people of native. I won't even just say African because I don't believe I'm from African descent. When I do my 23 in me, whatever the fuck that is, because I never did it. But when I look back in
By
my
them folk.
yeah, when I look back in my history, my personal history, right? The ancestors and forefathers are the grandmother that raised me, her parents, my father's parents. The you know what I'm saying? I do have a biological father. I do have people who at
So
some
that
time walked
so
this earth.
to your point, Kristen, that's essentially what I'm saying. You
Mhm.
know, like some people again aren't. I know people that weren't raised by their parents; they were raised by grandparents and X, Y, Z. So that's
Right.
and essentially what I'm alluding to. Like I'll say, my father, my father had so many. He would pray the same prayer, the hedge of protection. I said, I got so much shrubbery and shields in my house I could distribute these motherfucking shields like Oprah and give you guys a Shloma defenses. I ain't scared of much of shit out in this world.
So
Like
here's what's funny.
so
These fathers and grandfathers and grandmothers and mothers have prayed this hedge of protection over all of us because they think that's from the Bible. I don't know one scripture that talks about a hedge of protection.
it's
That's
not. It's a song. It's an
so right,
old song that used to be sung way back in the day. But
Negro
to the
spirit.
point though, right. So to and that's what most of the traditional culture is. It's just a branch way of y'all not liking each other and you disagreeing and going away from
But my
Catholicism.
point being is they
But
were praying for protection for us, but they weren't praying for protection for us from them.
the thing, and I don't think they knew how to. And
Huh.
that's the part. And even to this day, like that generation about 60, 65, 70, there's a small group of them that actually subscribe to mental health and health awareness and don't shun Dr. Sebi and don't look at certain people like, oh, you're demonic because you're not. They're not. They're most of them are struck and laden in their tradition. And as much as they can identify, even with our communication, the first thing they do when they go into a prayer is, Father God, in the name of Jesus. Hey, man, this is me
Listen,
and you talking.
the
You know,
same
like,
the same Kojic Church of God in Christ sect of Christianity who delivered that form of prayer, right? And I don't know how many people have ever actually seen the father of the Kojic Church, but I'll say this. Do some research into that original picture where he sat and began to teach on what he knew. Sit and look at the table that he was sitting at, what was on the table, and ground yourself in the knowledge, right? And the understanding that everything that has been demonized and called witchcraft, hoodoo, voodoo, all that was sitting right on the
they
table.
got a
The
whole candle
whole
and some
set.
E5. They got an E5.
It's more than the
They
ephod
got
and the
fucking
candle.
sage and
literally every manner of that belief system where it concerns community healing, cosmology, mental health, justice, the entire 9 yards of that, even connection to ancestors, what we perceive as what justice is, and connection to the land was all personified on that table where he did actual root work.
Right. And so
Yeah, it happens all the
That's
time.
how I got kicked out of church number 3.
right, that part. So we're gonna end this for today because I'm overloaded at this point.
She's overstimulated.
I very much so am. Because this went in a way that although I was already expecting to be triggered, but by just the conversation,
You did good.
It was going to affect me so deeply. And I'm trying out the growth that y'all have seen from me for season 1, where I've been affected by something and it's like,
motherfucker.
You're right.
I am proud of you. If it don't
You're
mean
doing
nothing,
good though.
like that's what I was saying. These are flowers. If
Word.
I can say, if nothing else, I'm
You did
proud of
great.
you.
Babe.
Both.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you both.
I don't want nothing from it.
Can we
listen? Good.
For those of y'all that don't know, we actually do try to run this like an actual show. So we have a plan in place for what's supposed to come next week. But if y'all don't mind, I would love to go ahead next week and continue the conversation because we never really got into the idea of spirituality.
Let's touch base.
Right. So
we got our rocks off.
I want to come back and actually talk about spirituality. If y'all don't mind, I'm gonna go ahead into the Queen's Gambit.
Yes,
and we
ma'am.
close the show for tonight because we are well over time and this fucking clip is gonna be crazy.
My goodness.
I will say in the regards to the clips, y'all have not been seeing any clip videos because I got to the episode where we talked about grace and have been so triggered and fearful of people seeing me in that state that I haven't been able to make more clips.
Okay.
With that being said, the Queen's Gambit for this week. Y'all ready for this?
We love you.
Ready. We love you, baby.
Look, a mess. All right, where are we at here? Because I write these every week, y'all. Like, don't think it's a game. I literally write these out. They're in my phone. I'm reading from my phone. So please forgive me if I stutter. Family, as we get ready to close out tonight's episode of Chestnut Checkers, I want to sit with something that's been woven into the fabric of our community for generations. That delicate dance between spirituality and religion in the Black experience. For many of us, the church was the first place we saw resilience. It was the sanctuary where our grandparents hummed their way through heartbreak, where our parents learned to hold their heads high, where we learned that even in the darkest moments, there is still light. Sometimes carried in scripture, sometimes carried in silence. But spirituality, that's the quieter voice. That's the space outside of the 4 walls where you talk to God on your own terms, in your own language, without needing a program or a pulpit. In our community, those 2 paths don't always walk hand in hand. Sometimes religion can feel like structure, tradition, and obligation, while spirituality feels like breath. Both are reflections of us. Both have shaped our strength and our identity and our joy and our healing. As we grow, rebuild, and redefine what it means to be whole as a human being, we have to give ourselves permission to find God in ways that make sense for our lives today. Not just the way it was taught, but the way that it's lived. Because at the end of the day, this journey that we're on, it's strategy, it's awareness, it's knowing when to follow the rules of the board and when to tap into something deeper, something intuitive, something spiritual that tells you this move is yours. So step into the rest of your week. As you step into the rest of your week, I want you to hold this. Whether you walk with a Bible in your bag, crystals in your pocket, or a quiet prayer in your chest, you are allowed to seek what brings you peace. You're allowed to. It's okay. You are allowed to build your relationship with the divine in a way that honors the fullness of who you are. The Bible tells us we are made in God's image. Don't forget that. This is Chestnut Checkers, where every move is intentional. Every lesson is spiritual in its own right. Every conversation is another step towards understanding ourselves and each other just a little bit more. So until next time, keep your mind sharp, keep your spirit grounded, and remember you're playing a long game. We love and we want you to be your best you every day. Have a great night, and thank you for tuning in to Chestnut Checkers.
Like, subscribe, and share, y'all. With that being said,
Follow.
that was beautiful. That was eloquently put. Beautiful. Like, subscribe, and share. We're here and we are out. Enjoy. We're gonna let the music play for a moment so y'all can understand and really catch a beautiful vibe. Go ahead and put that banner on. Wind us out.
Good night, y'all.
Life ain't simple, it's a game on the board. Not just moves, but the plan you hold. Pawns to queens, yeah, the stakes are high. Think 10 steps ahead or watch time fly. It's chess.